Perfect timing. I couldn't have timed it better. It's almost like I planned these things. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're well. I did not anticipate doing this type of stream today. In fact, I decided to do it about 30 minutes ago. All in all. And I was gonna do this for just myself, but I thought I'd take you all along for the ride, and hopefully it's a good one. But how you doing? How you doing out there today? And welcome to NASCAR Legends. NASCAR Legends. I have not practiced or planned any of this, but I was just gonna do this randomly. I've got like 4 hours, which should hopefully be enough time. And quite often on Sundays I'm busy, but this Sunday I'm not. And I figured I'd take you with me, for better or for worse. This could be terrible. I suppose if you're watching this back later, it probably went well enough or was entertaining enough for me to keep on the channel. But there's a high chance maybe that this won't make it very far. But we'll see. I've never done a full I don't think I've ever done a full distance race in this sim. Never mind the Daytona 500. But that's what I'm going to try to do today. It's a fun sim. This is NASCAR Legends. I did a video on it a while back, just kind of a quick look through it. Came out back in 1998, 1999 time. And Aiden's got me right. But came out right around the same time as NASCAR 3 did. And a lot of folks were disappointed when this first came out, because it was not Grand Prix Legends, but with NASCAR. It was more like the NASCAR 2, the older style game, and wasn't on the new engine and all that stuff. And because of that, it has not aged as well, did not have as big of a following as Legends, NASCAR, GPL did, Grand Prix Legends. But it's a fun one to look back at. It's a really cool season. It simulates the 1970 NASCAR season, so that obviously, as you can see, these are the Dodge Daytonas and Superbirds and all this stuff. And I've played the sim a lot. I played the demo a ton back in the day. I had the demo to this long before I had the actual game, and so the demo came with Bristol and Darlington, and I just used to alternate between those two tracks and just run races like nonstop with them. But hopefully this goes well. So we'll be doing hopefully the full distance race. Now I've over the years accumulated lots and lots of add-ons and stuff for this. And so I do have a full 1970 car set for this with all the drivers. It is not the actual list that competed in the Daytona 500, but it's kind of a generic 1970 season. But every driver is real. Including ourselves. We'll race, I guess, as Axel Richardson. If you remember way back, I did a series of NASCAR 1 streams a few years ago. Very up and down those. But we raced as Axel Richardson Jr., and so this is Axel Richardson that we'll be racing as today in the number 41 Papyrus Plymouth. We've got the whole grid. I won't spend too much time here because I do want to jump into it and get started with things, but Isaac and Dave Marcus and Castells and Hilton and Elma Langley and Richard Petty and all those guys. Full list of drivers. Some of the really, I guess you'd say, less frequent entrants and things towards the bottom of the list. But it should be nice. Yes, it's Axel Richardson Sr., not Jr. All's fun in the, I guess, the fake history that is the GP Laps universe. So, we'll be doing a race. So, Daytona, I saw a few mentions of this in the chat already. There was an official Daytona made by Papyrus for this sim. It did not come with the sim, though. And I'm actually working currently on a video for this that I'm really hoping to have done this week, because it would be perfect timing with the actual 500 coming up. But we'll see. I don't want to rush it in case I can't get all the facts together and straight. But this version of Daytona came out on a disc that was included with the 2000 Daytona 500 program. So you actually had to go to the race or somehow get your hands on a program for the 2000 Daytona 500. And this track, as well as a Daytona for NASCAR 3 came on the disc as like a demo and actually had to be converted from that disc to these sims, but they were basically the same sim, just like some small palette differences and things. And so this is an official, almost as if it had been included with the sim, but it was basically the first time Daytona had ever appeared in a Papyrus NASCAR racing sim, because Sega before then had owned the rights to it. And I'm not sure, this is where I'm at, kind of working on this video about all this. I'm not sure where the contracts and the rights ended and how they were able to actually release it for this eventually, but they were. So we'll be doing a full, this is the hope, try to do a full 200 lap race at Daytona. Realistic driving models, pace laps, breakdowns, full field, 100%. And I guess we'll do realistic conditions, random conditions rather, and see what happens. I don't even know if I'm gonna, I hope I'm competitive, first of all. I'll do a couple practice laps to make sure everything's working. I think I'll be competitive enough to not be last or first, but we'll see. We'll see. But normally I practice these things quite a bit and balance stuff and try to make sure it's going to be a good show. And so I don't know what to expect today, but like I said, I was just going to do this myself. And so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So jump into the track here. All right. So I'm not going to do like a ton of practice, but we will do a quick practice. Get rid of the music here. Do some quick practice test laps, and mostly want to make sure the audio is all good and all that. And let's see what I got for a car setup. I guess we'll go with the qualifying setup for qualifying and my Ace Daytona for the race. Now, a big problem, I think, is the tires overheating, which was real back in the day. But let me know how everything sounds. Hopefully it's not overly loud or anything like that. But yeah, if you're familiar with NASCAR Racing 3, this is basically the same game, just with vintage style physics and rules and all of that. There's no pit lane speed limit. I've actually got the spotter turned off, except for minimal, you'll see some text. They wouldn't have had spotters in 1970, but there's no way to shut them off in a way that would make sense, because you need to know sometimes like what car to stay behind under yellow and stuff like that. So I do have it on the minimum text version so that we get the maximum experience. But it's Daytona. I love this version of Daytona too. I think it's done really well. It's flat out in these cars, but the tires overheat a ton. And yeah, it'll be interesting. So I'm running this on Windows 10. I'm on modern system and everything. It's using something called DG Voodoo, which allows me to render it at a modern resolution. It's still 4:3, but it's at a a high resolution, so it looks nice and clear compared to the IndyCar 2 stuff that I've been doing. It's just amazing what a few more pixels will get you, because they're really similar games, but we got a little graphic acceleration here and some resolution upscaling. But yeah, we'll see how I can do as I go to understeer into the wall. Whoa. Now, there's no steering wheel to show in the sim. There is force feedback, though. This was one of the first sims that had force feedback just built in out of the box. NASCAR Legends, it got patched into. But it was around this time that force feedback, started coming out and all that. But I gotta get used to the handling. The handling in this sim is kind of weird. And my biggest thing I have to watch out for is running into other cars. Not trying to pull a Ross Chastain. But for those curious to get it running, it's running on the Direct 3D accelerator. Even though DG Voodoo is typically used for 3DFX emulation, it doesn't work as well for me. It used to work better for me with some of the older graphics cards I had, but the Direct 3D works better for me now. And so DG Voodoo helps with that as well, and fixes the things like the needles not showing up on the dashes and all that stuff. So it's not too hard to get running if you're familiar with those types of things. And yeah, it's actually pretty good. The fact that it has force feedback is quite nice. Makes it feel that little bit more modern. Now it's very basic force feedback. The track models in this are butter smooth, so you really just get a little bit of weight in the wheel, but it's very nice. Alright, so we're following, I think, Cecil Gordon and Frank Warren here. I somehow know most of the drivers from the 1970 season. I think I've just looked at it enough over the years. Yeah, it's basically a much earlier version of the same engine that, you know, NASCAR, the Papyrus guys used forever. There was a big change in the physics engine, especially between NASCAR 3 and 4. And that's really the separator that makes it much the same that you would have seen in NASCAR 2003. But this is kind of the final evolution of the original Papyrus physics engine and graphics engine that you would have seen come out with Indianapolis 500 in 1989. They really used an evolution of that same engine and everything from 89 through the late 90s here with these sims, and it served them well, but you could tell by this point it was starting to show its age. But it's cool. It's a nice version of Daytona. See a few comments about it. It looks kind of weird and things. I think it actually looks fairly accurate. It's maybe slightly wide. I think these dotted lines on it make it feel that way, but the track was actually painted with those in the early days, and it maybe is slightly too wide, but for the level of track design that are in these sims, it's not too bad. I'm not sure by 1970 if they still had the dotted lines in the road or not, but it does have that Pepsi-Cola advertisement on the third and fourth corners, which is cool. Coming underneath, Friday Hassler. Friday Hassler. Such a cool racing name. Got the relative box there. I don't know what I'll leave it on during the race. Yeah, the car feels actually pretty good, and I don't feel too slow, which is good. I hope I don't just run away with it either. I hope it's kind of balanced. Yeah, I have to agree, JD. NASCAR 1999 is probably my favorite as well. Because you have all three series. So you have the trucks, you have Busch, you have Cup. Although Busch and Cup have the same physics, which is kind of funny. But you at least have all the different tracks that go with Busch in that. And they did something with NASCAR 3 and Legends here where I think they zoomed the FOV out a little bit. And it just makes it feel a little more like you're staring far away. I find in NASCAR 99 it just feels, I think the FOV is smaller, so it just feels a little more like you're in the action. But NASCAR 99, I love all of them. NASCAR 1's just kind of quirky, and I know I've played that one a bunch on the channel here, so it's just kind of a weird sim. It feels a little bit like a dream, a nightmare version of some of the circuits and stuff. Very trippy. But NASCAR 2, they really refined everything, and you can see just how successful the first one was. Whoa, a bunch of understeer there. Let me look here. Whoa, right sides are very much overheating. That's going to be the issue, and I think that was an issue in real life, was that the tires overheated a lot. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes here. I don't think there's a lot I can do about it. Seems like they're overinflated. Maybe I can, we're at 60 PSI. That doesn't seem right. Yeah, I'm going to try to underinflate them a little bit here for the race. At least on the first run. Hopefully we can get through a decent length of a stint. I think we're on Firestones. And this is running on Windows, and cross your fingers it doesn't crash at some point. I haven't had any issues with it, but these older Windows games are definitely prone to issues, so hopefully none of that happens. Alright, I'm going to practice going in the pits once, as Frank Warren's going to jump underneath me here. But I think, oh, he's looking for the pits. Okay, I'll go one more lap. One more lap. Yeah, I think I gotta lower the pressures on the right side for sure. But I'm in 7th overall right now, time-wise. If I remember right, the field should be pretty spread out. Oh, no. Okay, we gotta watch that during the race. Big understeer into the wall. I don't think that would have damaged the car. If I remember right, the damage is like kind of hard to come by, even though we're unrealistic. I don't think I got any damage from that though, so we can get away with quite a bit here. Thankfully for myself. Alright, come down. Almost went for the H pattern. I got it on sequential. I think there is a way to get an H pattern working with this, but I haven't really explored it too much. Alright, that works. A little slow, but a little slow. We got the good wrench noises. I like how we still get the pit stop noise even though I'm just in the garage now. Is that it? Nope. I love the little bugs. Alright. Yeah, so for the race, I'll lower these right sides. Alright, I'm going to jump right into qualifying. I think the car felt good enough there. I won't worry about it for qualifying, but we'll see see how I can do here. A lot of times the qualifying is way different than race pace. See you later, Ascari. I did see a little bit about the West Brothers' new project, Ages of Speed. I don't know anything other than what has been publicly released, but I'm very interested. I mean, I hope something playable comes out of it. It'll be neat. You know, even if it's like an arcade racer type, you know, top-down type thing, I would love something like that. That's historic-based. Be a lot of fun. All right, so we're watching the qualifying. Bobby Isaac's on the pole so far. Bobby Isaac's... Oh, no, Richard Petty's got it, of course. Bobby Isaac's famously the driver that's like heard voices racing at Talladega in mid-race, pulled over and retired. For real retired, not just that race. Yeah, James, I think I zipped that up and sent it to a couple people, so I can send me a note on Twitter if you want it. I can send that to you. All right, so we'll go qualify now. So I think we get 2 laps, if I'm not mistaken. Oh my god, full race at Bowman Gray. That's some of the things. Some of these races, I was thinking about this. I'm like, if I stream this right now, will I ever actually do like a full career in this? And, you know, therefore, this would be kind of repeating it. I don't think I will do a full career in this, because some of the races are just slogs. Never say never, but this will be a pretty quick race unless it's a lot of yellow flag. But for a 500 miler, it'll be pretty quick. Probably around 3 hours, I'd imagine. But like the 600 at Charlotte in this would be like 5 hours of racing, which it's a lot. It's a lot of time. Bowman Gray, there's a lot of these short tracks. So luckily those races aren't super long distance-wise, but the cars are quite slow around tracks like that. All right, let's see if we get the green this time. Yeah, I think I've just got the green flag there, so I'll just try to do nice and smooth, flat-out lap. Just try not to scrub out any speed. Oh, I'm going to understeer a bunch here. I got the turn in so wrong. Ride the high line. All right, I'm really going to have to watch the understeer into the corners today. Yeah, I mean, I hope it's apparent that I love NASCAR, but it is another level if you wanted to do it justice and do streams and stuff. It, like, never mind the races are so long, there's also so many of them that's all you would see on my YouTube channel is NASCAR, full distance NASCAR races, which I know some of you would like, but it would be a lot. All right, cross the line there. Well, there's only a 192. Let's see if I can get turns 1 and 2 a bit better this time. I don't think that's going to be anywhere near enough. I think the quickest were like 196, right? Much better turn in that time, though. All right, flat down the back straightaway. I'm going to hit 200 miles per hour. Hopefully my car lasts the full race. I didn't really think about that either. about as good of a lap as I think I can do, so we'll see where it puts me. Across the line, 194. A little bit better. Yeah, I could do a Busch season. That would be a little more approachable. Oh, did I get second? Outside pole? That'll make things interesting. Or maybe not interesting. And there we go. Front row. Front row. Wow. I wonder how, I don't know what the real life qualify. I wonder how close that is to the real life times. That seems fast. That seems really fast. But maybe they were going that quick then. Okay. Second place. All right. I do want to just quickly fix this. So, gosh, you don't really know where to go without a lot of testing, but I'll jump them down like 8 psi and see if, let me just do a couple laps to make sure it's not completely terrible and that it maybe fixes the issue a little bit. Brenz, I have no idea if they check up a lot. I think they race okay. Okay, pole speed was 194, so we're not far off. I guess if the weather was a little different in real life, you could expect it to be this quick too. Nice, that's crazy. Think about that. They really haven't gone any faster. I mean, I know there's so many reasons why they haven't gone faster, but I know. We just crashed Google or racingreference.com. Yeah, there's obviously restrictor plates and all this stuff, but like the fact that they were going this fast in 1970 is terrifying. The cars had nothing for safety in them. I'm pretty sure some of the drivers were still wearing lap belts in 1970. They didn't even have like over-the-shoulder belts. It's a little soft in the corners there. The right rear is already hot. I think it's just going to be the issue during the race is that my tires get super hot, and that might be the thing that keeps Petty or me from winning. Oh man, the right rear is so hot in like 2 corners. I know, it's crazy. I remember when I was a kid, seatbelts were still like a contested thing. Not in that they were safer, but like the whole coolness factor. Like that seems so silly to me that you're uncool for wearing a seatbelt, but that was like a thing for some of the older crowd. I'm sure you all remember that. Maybe those days are behind us. This very silly stuff. Okay, the right rear is like so hot. I think it actually needs to be the higher pressure to keep the heat out. I think these tires are just gonna be that way. Yeah, I think the pressure causes excessive temperatures, so we're gonna go max pressure and then just hope we don't blow a tire at some point. Slip around the outside of the 90 there. Alright, let me just try one more pit in. I'm going to try it a little more aggressively. You don't have to worry about the speed limit, but unfortunately you're always the first stall on pit road, so you don't get to do that like super fast entry. I wish they had put your stall in the middle so that you could come into the pits at like super high speed. I know it's odd, like there's been a couple times where you'll like forget to put your seatbelt on or something, and it feels like you're about to be hurled out the window. Yeah, I might have to ride the very high line to just avoid scrubbing. Got a little train of cars. I think in this, the biggest issues are going to be hitting other cars, by far. Obviously, driving around in a circle, it's not the hardest thing, although I've already hit the wall a couple times. But it's going to be avoiding the traffic, avoiding other cars, and any AI shenanigans during this one. Yeah, there's quite a few tracks that have pit lanes on both the front and back straightaway. Darlington as well has that. And super unfair to be pit on the back straight. You basically will always lose time under yellows. But it was a big strategy thing back then. You needed to qualify in the top, 25 cars to get onto the front stretch pits, or else your race was like ruined from the get-go. Crazy stuff. But all right, so let's take a quick look at the starting grid for our 200 lap. I kind of can't believe I'm doing this. 200 lap, 500 mile race here in NASCAR Legends. Let's see if we can do this a bit more officially. But we got Richard Petty starting alongside us. Actually, let's look at them in the replay mode, just so we can. Oh yeah, that's right. You can't quite see everything with it full screen, so we'll do it like this. So Richard Petty starting alongside Axel Richardson on the front row, and we'll go back here. So we got Bobby Allison, Bobby Isaac in row 2, Charlie Glotchback, and Leroy Yarborough in row 3, David Pearson, Cale Yarborough in row 4. Got Pete Hamilton next to Dick Brooks, Donnie Allison and James Hilton, Buddy Baker, Benny Parsons, Frank Warren, and Cuckoo Marlin. That is Sterling Marlin's father, if you didn't know. Don Tarr here. Let's see if we can get a better view of some of these. Yeah, Don Tarr and Ed Negri. Wendell Scott's in here, the 34, Cecil Gordon. Just a coincidence that it's a Gordon in the 24. We got John Sears in the 4, Henley Gray in the 19, Dave Marcus for the 30 card, Neil Castells in the 06, Raymond Williams and Johnny Halford. This is where it starts to get into some of the drivers I don't really know. But Fred Lorenzen in the 3 with Friday Hassler back there, JD McDuffie and Bill Dennis in very similar cars. These two, I always get them mixed up. We got Bill Seifert and Larry Baumel, Jim Vandiver, Jabe Thomas, Bill Shirley, Roy Main, Bill Champion, Earl Brooks, Elmo Langley, he was the pace car driver for a very long time, Ben Arnold, G.C. Spencer, Joe Frassen, and starting last on the field is Buddy Arrington, who just passed away not too long ago, I believe. So that's our starting grid. Like I said, I think this one is mainly about avoiding other cars and seeing how it all plays out. I hope I don't just run away with it, but I have a feeling that it won't be that easy. So we'll try to get started. Hopefully this goes well. I have no idea how it's going to go, but I appreciate you all tuning in. It's a good crowd just for some random stream on this Sunday. I'll try not to get caught in a first lap incident. We'll hope for some drama, but not drama with me. Let's hope there's not too much caution, or else this will take like 6 hours to do. And I don't know how it's going to be like when we catch lap traffic. Will those cars be so slow that they catch the other leaders and I can get an advantage that way, or do they find their way around well? I don't know. Yeah, James, that's the same issue I had running it with 3DFX, so I run it with Direct 3D. Yeah, you're right, Tim, that the AI just works. It is simple and it is frustrating sometimes, especially, I find them the most frustrating in NASCAR 3 and NASCAR Legends here, because they're like kind of erratic, but they do a race, and they do it successfully, which is more than you can say about a lot of modern sims. All right, here we go. Here we get started for it. Daytona 500, 200 laps. Cross your fingers. Try to get a good start here. Come to the line. Let Petty get the, I don't know if you get a black flag if you pass him, but there we go. Green, right at the line. And we're underway. There goes Allison on the low side. It's not a big issue. We'll let him fall in front. I just need to get things spread out a bit and figure out my car, figure out the pace looks like we've got Buddy Baker behind me. Allison's right on Petty in front here. They're actually quite slow. I feel like I could just dive up the inside, but let me give it a second before I do anything silly. Here comes Buddy Baker right behind me as we come into turns 3 and 4. Oh no, that's actually Bobby Isaac. He's actually going to go around the high side. There's something you don't see in NASCAR 2003. Cars passing on the high side. I took that a little easy though, so I'm not too worried. I'll let him slip down in front though. He's going to cut me off into the first corner. Alright, let me try to get in their slipstream so we don't just lose the leaders. Because I feel like I'm kind of pinning my line towards the bottom, so I lose a little bit of time there. Man, the car is super understeery. We might need to adjust some wedge and stuff. Actually, do the cars even have wedge? They might not even have wedge. It might have a screw jack if I remember right, which I don't remember how that works. But those three are actually running away from me right now. I think we got to do like the low entry into the corner and then let it sweep out wide, so we don't scrub off a lot of speed as the car darts right there. Wow, that was very close. I don't know if wedge is in the options to change though. Oh yeah, we do have wedge, okay. Well, we're actually very positive on it, so we should be able to loosen up the car quite a lot, which is good. So I think goal number 1 here is to make it to the first pit stop so I can fix the car. It felt fine in practice. It must be the weather. That or I'm going much quicker because I'm with the leaders or something. But they're just driving away from me right now. Yeah, I gotta enter low and then use the banking to turn the car. Just like that. And then let it ride up a little bit. Oh, here comes, what's that, Leroy down the low side? Leroy Yarborough down the low side, but Blatchback's going to push me along here from behind. Not literally push me, but give me that slipstream, that arrow bubble. Wow, so I'm actually a bit slower than I thought I was going to be here. I thought I'd be able to actually just stay with Petty up front, but long ways to go. Yeah, maybe the car will change a lot over the run. That's a good point. But right now it feels very tight. There we go, nice and smoothly through the corner. It's easy to get because the suspension is really soft and the steering is not the most precise. I think it doesn't measure like as many points as a modern sim would. And so you can get into these weird like oscillations. Throttle a little bit there. Seems like we're getting a little bit of an extra speed down the back straightaway, so there might be some tailwind there. But Petty, Allison, and Isaac are gone. That's no good. And here comes Pearson behind me, which I have a feeling he's going to want to join them. Uh-oh. Are we in for like a slog here to stay on the lead lap? I guess that's not too unrealistic back in these days with how the races went. A lot of times the leaders would just lap the field a ton of times. Maybe not at Daytona. There would be a little bit more of a pack up front, but I think it wasn't uncommon for the winner to be a lap ahead of everybody else. So we'll see what transpires here. All right. Okay, the right rear is still overheating. But I have to try to make it, gosh, we can only do 20 laps on the tank. This is going to be a 10 pit stop race. Oh, got it in the wrong lane there through the corner. There's a spin in turn 1 apparently. Let's see if the yellow comes out. And of course it's race back to the line if the yellow does come out. Still see green lights there. We're side by side here with Donnie Allison. So we'll come down into the corner. I don't want to have a fight with him. Oh, he just flew by me. So somebody's had a crash, but there's no yellow. If I remember right, it's a little more, it doesn't just throw cautions all the time. It holds them quite a bit unless there's a multi-car crash. Oh, you can see some skid marks. So somebody spun out. Skid marks across the track there too. Here comes David Pearson up the inside. Come on, David. Held him back there. Yeah. Top three have some ingenuity, probably. Hitting 208 down the back straightaway though, that's unreal. So I think this is going to be all about, like, can I make a full fuel run on this set of tires? I can't believe it. You can only go 20 laps on a tank of fuel. I see somebody in the pits there. I'm not sure who that is. Yeah, I kind of love how it didn't throw a caution too. It makes it pretty dynamic. Just need to stay in touch with folks here right now. I'm in 5th place. It's not so bad. Oh, a lot of understeer. I'm going to try to get a little wedge out of it on the stop and see what that does. Comes Pearson. Oh, he's coming up hot behind me. Hopefully he just stays in behind. Take the low line here into turn 1. I think this is Yarborough behind Cale. Whoa, in the Wood Brothers car. Come on, Cale. Really packing me up into turn 2. It's kind of fun sometimes, like, not practicing much, because, you know, once you really learn the quirks of everything, you can maximize and take advantage of it all. But I don't know, like, when anybody's going to be pitting, or, like, if I'll make it a full fuel stint, and all this stuff. And so I really don't know what's going to happen here today. And my main goal, I just got to try to stay in the race and avoid a big accident or something. So if you get damage here, that is the end of your day being competitive for sure. Yeah, we're driving a Superbird, I believe, or a Dodge Daytona. It doesn't really say which is which. They have the same shape in this sim. I believe every car has the same physics. So it's all just for looks, but they do drive like an old NASCAR rather than old stock car rather than a modern one. Yarborough is coming up behind me. Oh, he's going to do the high side pass too, like Isaac did. He's going to pinch me into turn 1. Oh, just losing spots here from our 2nd place starting, but we can already see a lap car coming up, Roy Main. So lap traffic will surely make things a little more interesting. Yeah, I think it's a Plymouth. It might say Plymouth on the side, but it is one of the winged cars. I'm definitely going to take some wedge out of it when we pit. We can find the menu for it. Let's use one of these keys, huh? No. So I don't know how much to do, but I'll go down to 50 pounds. Hopefully that's not too much and not too little to make a difference. It's not incredibly bad, but once in a while I get the entry wrong and can't make the corner, so... I mean, the physics and force feedback are definitely dated. I mentioned the force feedback push a lot there. Yeah, hopefully I can adjust the car to get rid of that. Force feedback, I mean, the tracks are butter smooth, so you really just get a little weight in the wheel. I haven't tried it around like a road course like Riverside to know if the curbs are anything, if there are curbs. You know, can you feel those? But otherwise, yeah, I mean, it's nice to have it compared to not having it. But it's really just weight as far So, and physics-wise, I mean, it's an old sim, but it drives predictably and realistically enough that you can have a lot of fun with it, I think. Yeah, 200 laps in the first stage today, Dennis, you're right. And then 0 laps in stages 2 and 3. Alright, so sitting in 6th place, coming up to lap 15. Says I can do another 9 laps. Right rear's already getting worn out. Oh boy. I'm gonna struggle today on the tires. And I hope we get some green flag pit stops. I think we will. I just have so much more speed coming into turns 3 and 4 that I have to lift just a little bit, and it's killing my speed. Yeah, luckily, because the game is 4x3, I can just squeeze myself off to the left there, and it won't interrupt the picture. He's got Pete Hamilton in the second Petty Superbird. That's the real winner of the race. He's from my neck of the woods, Pete Hamilton. He got hurt pretty early on, so he really didn't. He had like a couple good seasons, and then you didn't hear much about him after that. But he won the Daytona 500 in 1970. Very similar looking car to Petty's 43, but just with a red nose on it. Alright, tires are getting worn. How far do I push them? We're getting down on fuel. The fuel gauge is on the left, and it's actually like a full gauge. Whoa, it's almost tagged Hamilton behind me there on the high side. There's a lot to keep track of. I'm trying to block these 2 lanes behind me and monitor everything. The fuel gauge is a full progressive gauge, so I mean, if I can make it to lap 25, that means we can cut out 2 pit stops during the race. If I make it to lap 20, we have to do 10 stops or 9 stops. Oh, there's a car going in the pits. Who's that? Looks like Yarborough's in the pits, so they're starting to pit already. That's good. That way I can pit as soon as I feel like my tires are going to give up. Lap 18. I'd like to make it at least a couple more laps. Yeah, those 22 gallons do go by fast. I was like, do I have it on accelerated fuel burn or something? But I don't think I do. Oh, big push coming into turn 3. Here goes Flashback on the low side. He's going to get it. Pearson's going to come down low as well. Ooh, and they're actually going to dive into the pits. That worked out for me. Alright, when am I going to do it? Right rear is red. I gotta go soon, so I'm gonna blow a tire. Alright, if we come in now, that'll be 20 laps, and hopefully with the adjustment in the pits, I can dial out some of the understeers and blast by Buddy Baker there. This is going really well so far. I know I lost the leaders, but I'm happy I made it to the first pit stop at least. Roy Main here in front. We'll come through turns 3, 4, and we'll come into the pits now. Should be adjusting the wedge and 4 tires and full fuel. Oh, he's going to come in as well. Let's try to find my pit stop. Here it is. Don't run deep or anything on the opening lap. Hit Richard Petty right in front if I did. There we go. Pit stop. Yeah. We're on track for 9 stops today. Stop number 1. Makes the Indy 500 seem trivial for the 90 season. There's 2 tires. I mean, we definitely got to do 4 tires. Although those left sides, yeah, they're worn too. I mean, I couldn't skip changing those. Now here's the tricky part. Can I get out without getting run over? Come on. There we go. We're getting run into or hit somebody. Here's James Hilton in front. Pass by him. Just keep my eye on people pulling out. Here's Glassback. Is that Glassback? Oh, it's Roy Main. Okay, here's the one that I came in right behind, but he's a lap down. Alright, so get around all them on lap 20 now. And we'll see how the car feels here. Well, there comes Yarborough behind. So I actually gained quite a bit of time, I think. He's going to come around on the high side. Yeah, no pit speed limit. Yeah, I don't want to do anything crazy here. You're going to see, I'm going to try to drive just nice and conservative because it's so easy to just touch somebody and spin out as the car feels very different suddenly. I think the adjustment worked. Come across the line. So we did stop kind of a lap early, but I'm in 5th spot. So that's good. Wow. The car turns very good now. I might have went a little too far with the adjustment, but it should serve me well down here in 3 and 4. My foot in it this time. Ride right out to the outside lane, and that's going to really murder my tires, but let's see if I can get it a little more smooth than that. But I think the car feels a bit better now. It's a little trickier to drive, but it'll let me keep my foot in it through the final couple of corners there. Here comes Donnie coming up behind me. Block him on the low side. Yeah, it's still a slight push, but I don't know what else I could do about that from inside the car. I think we just have a wedge adjustment, if I'm remembering correctly. Screw jacks. What do the screw jacks do? I imagine that's going to change the ride height. Maybe we can adjust with that a little bit. Do I go there? No track bars, but we do have screw jacks. Here comes Donnie coming on the low side. I'm going to have to let him have it. It's just an accident waiting to happen if he slides up into me. The car feels very pointy now. Through 1 and 2, but 3 and 4 it's still understeering quite a bit. You can find this Daytona, just Google NASCAR Legends Daytona. It's hosted at a bunch of different places. It was released by Papyrus in 2000 as a part of the program for the 2000 Daytona 500. But it's all over the internet. Do its own thing through the corner. A little twitch there coming out of turn 2. Right up to the wall. Car feels pretty good. I mean, you know, it might be impossible to actually catch like Petty, but if I remember right, there's a higher chance of mechanical failures and things, and the mechanical failures in this are not just car breaks, car doesn't break. They might just start driving a bit slower because they're nursing something, or they're down a cylinder. So you never know what can happen. It's a long race. We're only 25 laps into it. Pushing in 3 and 4. So the problem is I don't really know what the screw jacks do enough to adjust them to make that better, but I'm sure that's my adjustment I need. If somebody wants to Google the NASCAR Legends manual and then read about screw jacks, we can find out together. As Donnie gets held up by, I think, Dick Brooks exiting the pits here. Whoa, we'll slide up the middle. There we go. Get a position there. It's a little bit of a cheat, but I'll take it. It puts me back in 5th. Would I recommend this over NASCAR 2003's 1970 and 63 mod? Not really, they're just different things. I think if you like NASCAR 2003, then those mods, and you like this era, then those mods are obviously very good for it. This is a much more dated game, so it comes with all those kind of quirks and things. So I don't think one is necessarily better than the other, but it's fun to, I have a lot of fun going back to these older sims because it's what I played for forever. I feel like I have the most memories of this era of sim racing. But yes, that is a good point. The mods, unless you go out and search for modded physics, the mods themselves do not change the physics in NASCAR 2003. They're just visual mods. Alright, how's the tire looking? So, we are on lap 28. Right rear is still very toasty, but it seems like I can make it just about a stint on the tire, and it's probably as good as it's going to get anyway. It's more just about making sure I can keep the foot down. Got a little pack in front here, which is going to make things interesting. Screw jacks tightening transfers more weight to that corner of the car. So do I want to tighten the left front then? We're probably on 100 already there. Yeah. Okay, well that sounds logical then if tightening it transfers weight. We might be able to tighten the right front then a little bit. Just like 5 pounds or screws or whatever it is measured in. Whoa, I had a wicked run there coming out of 3. Here's a big pack on the high side, and this is where things get really interesting. See if I can scoot around the low side. Elmo Langley here on the high side. Stuck behind the 18. Right against the line. Bill Champion, Cecil Gordon. I want to go 3 wide, but let's see, Bill Champion's already squeezing us down. As Donnie Allison's going to stick on the high side then. Come on now. Wow, we're fender to fender. We are going to go 3 wide. Come on, Donnie. Alright, I'll let him scoot in front. Donnie's got his elbows out. He's going to get cut off by Champion. This is great. You have to you gotta give them a little more space. You know, you can't bump people like you could in NASCAR 2003. And as long as you respect some of those rules, you can have a lot of fun with this. I hope I can keep it up for the race and try not to do anything too silly here. There he goes. Bill Champion's gonna slide out wide. I'll try to follow Donnie through. Oh, Champion's gonna squeeze down low. Coming out fender to fender there. Get him on the low side down the back straightaway though. Whoa. Yeah, Donnie's on a tear right now. So I didn't get the car launched into 3 and 4 correctly. Here comes Bill, back on the low side. Alright, Cecil, let me in. It's so sketchy because they'll just turn into you sometimes if you're not fully side by side. As here comes Bill back on the high side. Lapped car is keeping it interesting, I suppose. Alright, slip underneath Cecil. Oh, we're side by side here. A lot of wheel into it. Oh man, hold your breath. third line coming out of 4. He didn't sweep out wide like I thought he would. 25. Wow. Through the tri-oval, ride the apron just a little bit there. That's sketchy. Come on now. Gotta stay in it to win it. Just remember that. It's better to lose some time than lose the whole race. Whew. That was sketchy, and I probably lost a ton of tire wear there, yeah. I gotta make it 7 more laps on this set of tires. So yeah, I think I might... I don't know. I want to take some weight. I gotta figure out what to do with these screw jacks. I don't want to take more wedge out of it because the car feels very free in spots, and I'm afraid I'll loop it if I take too much more wedge out. So I think the screw jacks are the answer, but we're already fully screwed in on the left front. Alright, we got JD McDuffie here. To get him easy. Some of the lap cars are a lot slow. I love that. I love when there's a big pace difference. It's very realistic for this period. But we're through the traffic, not too far away from Donnie in front, so able to stick with him. We got Buddy Arrington here. Got a little wiggle coming out of turn 2. There's Dodge Daytona. Here in the 76. Before his time with the 76 in the red, white, and blue. This is really tricky through the traffic. The first stint was nice with barely any traffic, but I have a feeling the rest of the race, unless we get a yellow flag, which I have to imagine we'll get a yellow flag at some point, but the rest of the race is probably going to be like this. So I got a big twitch in the middle of the corner there. Man. Do not forget to turn left, correct. Just kind of waiting for it to sort itself out here, because this is where it gets tricky, and there goes... Oh, Donnie dips into the pits on lap 36. If I can stretch it out, I might actually have a huge advantage here if these guys are pitting a couple laps early every time. That might be my key to victory today. I know I always get some of the hate just because if you do rally one day and miss the next day, it's different crowds, but it's all racing and it's all fun. If you're open-minded enough, you might actually have a good time with it. Ooh, that was sketchy. Thought that was going to be the end for a second. A lot of close calls in this stint. Alright, where am I at tire-wise? Oh, that right rear is really burnt up. I'm afraid I'm going to pop it, which I think you can do. I'm like a lap short again. Comes a car out of the pits, very slow on the low side. I think it's Donnie. Yeah, my tires are the issue. Here comes Petty back to me. All right, we'll just do 3 wide. Petty on the low side. Is he coming out of the pits, maybe? All right. I'm worried about the tire, but I gotta go 1 more lap, or else I'm really not gonna make my strategy. This could be... Oh, there goes Petty into the pits. All right, he was trying to stay on the low side to pit. We're gonna need rubber shortly, I'd say. Maybe that's good. I just got that note, so that I have at least a lap. Back there on the low side. Seems like the AI, if you're single file, the AI can make it around cars exiting the pits, but if they're too wide, they get blocked there. Kale bounces off the wall in front. Yeah, I didn't make any screw jack adjustments. Right. Try one click down on the right rear and see what happens. But we'll come into the pits this time. I think I'm 1 lap short still, but I don't want to push it too far. We'll see if I can be softer on the tires and extend it an extra lap coming up. Alright, get it slowed down. Braking from 200 miles an hour down to stop. There we go. A little slow on the entry. Alright, decent so far. Making it through, which is the important part. 160 laps to go, so staying on that every 20 lap pit. I need to gain 1 lap somewhere. If we get a yellow at some point, that'll fix it. Whoa, here comes one car in, Castillo's. For a second I was like 55 mile an hour. No way, just gun it. Seifert here, Seifert. Alright, slip underneath him. Try to get up to speed here. I was a little slow exiting the pits. Oh, here comes a couple cars. John Sears there in that pink. Oh man, he squeezes me down coming out of the corner. Yeah, all the old Papyrus sims, they've got curved pit lanes, which bugs me too. That was like one thing that, if that wasn't like that, it would be, I don't know, it just looks so much better, but it's a minor thing. Okay, there's a little twitchy. It's probably the same feeling that I got with the wedge after the last stop, so let the tires come in a couple laps. Alright, let's see where I'm at positions-wise. A couple cars coming out of the pits here. It's nice and easy. Whoa, it's Sears. Oh my god. That was so close. I lucked out. I just lucked out to be behind the car on the high side there, Halford. I'm in 3rd place apparently. Bobby Isaac and Bobby Allison are in front of me. You really lose track of the race with these because the cars are just all over the place. It's not like modern times. Alright, so we're looking for Allison and Isaac. But it seems like I got around Petty through all that. Maybe he got held up. Or has an issue, who knows. We'll see. I'll scroll down here. We can see who's out of the race. 2, Cuckoo. Cuckoo's out, and Henley Gray is out. I don't know who has to pit, though. That's the thing. So I guess we'll just have to see. But it's good. I'm on the lead lap. I am 23 seconds behind, though, so I'm like a half a lap down right now. Yeah, on the short tracks they don't have the wings, and on the super speedways they have them. Although you can tweak that pretty easily with the track settings if you'd like them to have the wings everywhere. There's a few shots. I think one driver brought a Superbird to Martinsville. So there's like the field, everybody's got some of the 69 cars without the wings, and then there's one Superbird at the back of the field. These are looking pretty good right now, though. Car feels a bit better. I did a little bit of a lift there, but not as much as I was doing earlier on. So I think that screw jack setting was good. Right rear is hot, though. Hope I didn't make it worse. Right. Chris, you're exactly right. We've got 7 more setups to find, or 7 more pit stops to find that perfect setup. I like your thinking. I kind of miss, I mean, I was, the NASCAR 2003 video I put out this week, I got a little bit into my misty-eyed nostalgia. I love the old NASCAR, though. I just like that it was different in that it was kind of slow and boring. I saw those as good qualities. It wasn't really boring to me, but I could see why people thought it was boring, because there was a lot of races that people just ran away with it, or nothing would happen for hundreds of laps. But I liked that about it, that it was this kind of slower race. People could work on their cars for many laps. There weren't big wrecks every 5 minutes. I miss that, because I don't hate modern NASCAR, but it's not the same sport anymore, really. So I just kind of miss the old thing. Like, I wish it still existed. That's why I posted this morning on my Twitter. I watched the opener and wheel and modified race last night from New Smyrna. It's on Flow Racing. It's really good because it is that old style racing. I watch the modifieds up here. I go to Stafford Speedway and Thompson and all those places, and they still race kind of the old way. The races, they don't have stages. It's kind of a straightforward 200-lap race. Nothing fancy. There's a few weird rules with pit stops and stuff, but it's mainly just kind of straightforward oval racing. And I like it for that. It just makes it pure in a way that I miss. So it's not that I want NASCAR to go back to the old way. I just miss that type of racing. And it's cool watching older races like this. But it's just different. I like variety, because I feel like a lot of people only watch one type of motorsport. Like you're a Formula One fan, or you're a NASCAR fan, or you watch sports cars, and that's it. But I feel like the variety is nice. So you don't need any single type of motorsport to be everything. It's good that they're different. All right, 47. So we got to make it to lap 60 this time. Strung out a little bit here. It's quiet. It's good. That was the last stint was intense, so I'm happy to do a few quiet laps now. Yeah, for folks that joined in, this is NASCAR Legends from Iris, and I think it was 1999 that it was released. And it works on Windows 10. You need something called DG Voodoo, most likely, to get it to work. But otherwise, it just works. And I'm running in direct 3D mode. And it's pretty great. I'm having a good time with it here. We're on lap 48 out of 200. And so far, so good. Sim has not crashed yet, which is good. That's the main thing. I have not crashed yet, so no crashes so far, which is always good. I think we're in third position. Yeah, third behind Bobby Isaac and Bobby Allison, although Isaac's pulling away. I've lost 3 seconds this run so far, but the car feels a little bit better now. I think I'm still wearing out the right rear quite a bit, but it's better than it was. We'll see how the wear is at the end of the run. If it's better, I might try even going down on that screw jack one more time there. All right, we got the 3 here. I didn't have the confidence to stick it in, and I should have, because it gave me the space. Fred Lorenzen in front here. Just up underneath him. Oh, we got Wendell Scott in front. I'm just afraid to dive into the corner because they cut all the way down, and when you make contact, you don't just knock fenders and keep going. You just slide. You instantly kind of spin out. So it's best. Oh, as he dips down low there too. Try not to run over Wendell. We got Friday Hassler. I think he's in one of the few Chevrolets, if I'm not mistaken. See, the bumper's a bit different than all the other cars. It's funny because of how dominant Chevy is now, that they were nowhere in NASCAR in the 70s. Not until the very end of the decade. Well, he's going to be a little too quick for me to dive under. terrible line there. Run a bit wide again. Wendell's going to come back down low. Should be able to stay on the high side here and get the slipstream from Friday. I think Yarborough's caught up to me from behind. I'm wasting my time through the back markers here. Oh, there goes Yarborough, just right underneath with Allison, Donnie. And like that, I've lost 2 positions, back to 5th. So we're really in a battle for 3rd right now because the 2 leaders are way out there, and somehow Eddie had a problem, and he's behind me. He's not super far behind, but I don't know if he's lost pace overall because he was up there too. The car is not driving great still. It's still kind of very understeery. I think that's just how these cars drive, though. I don't know if you can get it feeling good around here. Yeah, if you're curious of more of a general overview of this game, I did do a casual look at it a couple years ago, and that's on my channel somewhere. I'll put it in the description after the stream. Alright, after the crazy excitement of the first 30, 40 laps, it's now strung out quite a bit, and I have a feeling it's going to be like this for a long time. We just got to try to make laps here. Got just a handful of laps before we got to pit again, and I've been actually saving a bit of time. Oh, almost hit the wall. Been saving a bit of time on the stops compared to the AI. And so I'm optimistic as we're getting a little bit low on that right rear tire. Optimistic that I can actually save a pit stop by the time we get to the end of the race. If we never get a yellow flag, which I would be shocked. So I can see skid marks on the track in places, so we've had crashes. But if we don't get a yellow flag, I think I'll be able to make the race on 9 stops, and the AI do not look like they're going to make it that far. I might have to do 10, so that would save me a lot of time. Yeah, cautions are on. We checked before I started the race. Everything was enabled. Oh, I just dipped onto the apron there. Okay, car pitting. So that's Yarborough in front. The tire wear does seem a lot better. I'm going to do one more. We can always go back on it if it feels bad, because we've got plenty of pit stops today. But I'm going to do one more click down on that right rear and see if that just continues to be a good thing for the car. So bad line through turns 1 and 2 there. We've got to do like 3 or 4 more laps. Tire wear seems a tick better than the last time, though. Some cars in the pits and everything. Right rear is getting low. I should see my crew chief tell me, though. And you can get an audio crew chief in this, but I don't really want the calls for low and high because they would not have had that in 1970. So I have it on audio only. Yeah, he just told me I need a new tire. 58. Oh, I want to make it 2 laps. Man, I'm always like right at the end of the stint here with the tires. Can I make it 2 laps on this tire? That's the big question. I've got somebody coming up behind me. I think it's Richard Petty now. Isaac's in the pits. Just waiting for the tire to let go and send me into the wall. Here comes Petty. Alright, we gotta go around at least one more lap here. He's gonna dive in the pits. I might lead a lap. There we go, leading a lap. After starting second, it took me over 50 laps and I finally led one. Alright, we're gonna pit this time. So the tires are like right at the end of their life. Just nice and light on the wheel. Just don't scrub the tires at all. You just don't want to hear them. It would be amazing to have something like this remade, right? Like, iRacing made that dirt sprint car game for Xbox. Like, do something like this. For the NASCAR 75th anniversary, do a new NASCAR Legends. Alright. Oh, a wreck. Pit road is closed. Okay. I guess we'll get the yellow flag here. I might have just made out like a bandit. Am I under yellow? Yeah. I'm going to be the first car behind the pace car. Actually, I think this is bad for me. Because now I'm going to pit and everybody's going to pass me, right? Oh, that's not the pace car. Where am I? I don't know where to go. Do I go around a whole lap? I don't know what to do. There's a big cluster of cars up here. I legitimately do not know what to do or if I'm racing. Is Glatzback behind me here? Am I racing him right now? That road is closed. I don't think I got the yellow flag yet, so I gotta try to just get to the line. Glatzback's coming on the high side. Come on now. I just don't want to slam into somebody. I don't know what to do. I gotta wait for the pits to open and pit, at least. Oh! That's gonna hurt, man. You got 3 tires in front. Who is that? Bill Shirley? Did I got that right? 74? Okay, here's the pace car. Now, I'm the leader, so maybe... I'll stay behind the pace car. Okay, I don't know what Glatzback's doing here, though. It's all messed up. Hopefully it'll sort itself out, but here's Glatzback, like, right on me. I'm on the apron. I mean, I'm going to go into the pits, but we got Lorenzen here right next to me on the high side. Let's hope I can get through all this without getting damage. I think the pits will open up now. There goes Glatzback going through. Pit road is closed. Why? Why? I need to pit. Oh, it's open now. Right, there's Lorenzen. Cut in front of him. That was weird. Alright, stop. I'm gonna lose a bunch of time with this, but I don't know. This restart's gonna be terrible too, because I'm gonna have to pass everybody. Yeah, I'm lucky I made my box there. I didn't change the screw jacks again. Did I? Pass some cars before we get out of the pits. There's Lorenzen coming on the left side. A lot of cars in the pits. We've had a few big accidents. We'll look at how many DNFs we have so far. not that many, just a lot of cars in the pits. But Joe Frassen, Cuckoo Marlin, and Henley Gray are the only 3 officially out. A lot of skid marks in turn 1. We've only got 9 cars on the lead lap, and I am one of them, which is good. So the way this should work is it should be a double file restart, and I'll get to basically go around all the lapped cars on the high side. All right, do you want to see the replay? I don't want to extend the race too long, but we can quickly look at the replay. Green next time by. All right, we'll look at the replay real quick. Looks like Dick Brooks might have been involved. I'm seeing this correctly. Maybe not. I don't know what happened. A lot of skid marks there. All right, this is when we were behind the pace car. I don't know. So it was like right as I was going to come to the pit lane. The first time. All right, this is when the caution came out. So what was going on the track? I don't know what happened. Oh, there we go. All right, let's just watch what happened real quick. This is why it's hard to stop for the accidents. Oh, it looks like it was a car coming out of the pits. I think that's Benny Parsons in the 72. Whoa, he got nailed as well. That's a whole bunch of cars out. Wow. All right. LePaged. Yeah, exactly. Alright. I'm always afraid the thing's going to crash too as I like resume it, so that's why I'm a little weary of clicking into the replays, but it all worked out. We're driving again. Or that my controls won't work or something. Alright, so interesting happenings. We are 63 laps into the 200. Been a good race so far. I haven't crashed, haven't hit anything. And we just got to try to get through this. This is going to be crazy, this restart, with all these cars everywhere. But we should be more or less good now to... I still got to try to do 20 laps, but we'll have a couple extra laps to lean on if we feel like I'm wearing out the tires a bit too much. I appreciate everybody being here. It's a good size group of folks. I know there's a lot of other stuff going on today. I personally don't care about football or anything, so something fun to do on today's day. Alright, so we'll come around. Yeah, I hope we can just like fly by all the lapped cars. I think it's Wendell Scott in the lead line on the low side. Hopefully he just holds up everybody, but we'll see. And hopefully I don't nail the rear end of Richard Petty here. Hey, I love to do that check up sometimes. Alright, green back out. Stay on the high side here. Leroy Yarboroughs, we get blocked in on the high side. It's going to let a bunch of lapped cars go down low. Oh boy. Come on, Hilton. Squeak down below. Here we go. Make our run for the lead. Oh, they're all going to get blocked in. I should be able to clear this before the corner, I hope. Yes, 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 yes. That worked out so perfectly. All right, coming to turns 3 and 4. Just nice and easy. Get it through here. Halford's stuck up behind Scott as well. And Allison and Isaac right in front. So these are the two leaders, and I am now right with them. I made out perfectly on that restart. That might be, is that Pearson in front? No, okay. Not Pearson out there, but it's Isaac and Allison right in front of me. How cool would it be to try to organize like a big sim race in this? I don't know if you could do it. I don't know what the max number of players were in multiplayer. Imagine if you could do like 42. Run like a proper esport event in it. It would be interesting to see how people would figure out how to min and max the setup and everything. I'm sure you'd get some crazy stuff. Even if it was 30, that would still be pretty cool. Isaac and Allison are so quick. We should have some clear running here for at least a few laps while the pack back there sorts itself out. And I was hoping I could stick with them as it touched the apron there. It seemed to actually help me. There used to be an online league for this called Delta Sim Racing, and I know their website is still around. I think they do NASCAR 2003 stuff now. I don't think they do Legends anymore, but I could be wrong. But Delta Sim Racing was the last league I knew of that raced this. That weird switch in the corner. I can't get the car's weight transferred well enough, and then it kind of bobs itself mid-corner. Alright, so I guess I'll just go as far as I can now until my pit crew says I'm running out of tires. That'll be kind of my sign to pit at the moment, because it's going to be much further than lap 180. Or sorry, lap 80. Yeah, I never did race any of these NASCAR sims online back in the day. I did, NASCAR 2003 was the first NASCAR game I ever played online with. If anybody out there was involved, I raced in that short-lived Sim Modified League. SI Modified League. It was back probably in like 2006 or 7. A long time ago at this point. So that was fun. Raced short tracks with the modified mod. I wasn't very good. Still a lot of understeer coming in the corner. It's funny though, it's the right rear which is the one I'm worried about, not the right front. Yeah, and I just cannot keep up with Isaac and Allison, so they've got something special today. And much like we've seen in some of the IndyCar 2 races, there's once in a while some AI that are just much better. Try to keep my pace on, because I'm in third. For a while I was back in 5th and 6th. And you never know what's going to happen. I expect Yarborough to come up behind me here at some point. Catching Pearson though, so it is Pearson in front, but he's a lap down. So I didn't expect that. oversteer a bit in the turns 3 and 4. Sometimes I just don't get that line right. I was going to say it's handling a bit better now, but it's still... You got to get that line right into the corners or else it's easy to hit the wall. I don't think I've actually hit the wall yet, so knock on wood, keep it out of the wall. I think I gotta hit the yellow line coming right into the corner. So Pearson's actually able to hold his own in front of me here. Without lap traffic and stuff, I just really have no hope in catching these guys, so it's gonna be a quiet stint, I think. But Kale is catching up to me behind. He's only a second off now. He was a couple seconds just a couple of laps ago, so I expect to see him very soon. Wow, Benny Parsons is still out on the track. He's very slow though, so we'll probably see him a lot, but he got nailed in that accident. It's in 39th. We still have 39 cars running, which is pretty good. Wow. Our tires are wearing down on the right side. I mean, we're going to be, strategy-wise, just like so ahead of our strategy right now, but it's not quite enough to think about like extending it to remove a stop. Need at least another yellow at the right time to do something like that. I think Parsons is coming up in front. He might slow down some of these cars. Here's Yarborough coming up behind me. I can go around the high side, but I know he can do it. He's already done it on me. Try my best to keep Yarborough behind, but it's hard. Hard to do because you can't quite tell how close the car is behind you. You don't want to clip fenders and pit maneuver yourself at any point. Thanks. Big lift there into turn 3. Alright, here comes Yarborough up behind. Chasing down Parsons in front. Yarborough's going to look down low. Parsons as well is going to be blocking the track there. Alright, he's going to slide up, try to just drive right underneath him. There we go. Yarborough's going in the pits. What? So are they still on their original pit strategies and I'm gonna be just like, I don't know. I have no idea what's going on in this race. We're just gonna have to see what happens, I guess, which is half the fun of it, right? I've also paid zero attention to my gauges today, so I have no idea. I got two temps, so I got oil and water temperature there on the right. Oil pressure on left of the tach, and then fuel. No idea if any of those matter. Oh, right against the wall. Alright, so looks like some more cars in the pits. Everybody's pitting right now. Except for Allison and Isaac up front. Here comes Yarborough out of the pits, so we'll do a full lap on him. It's going to take him a minute to get up to speed, so I'll blaze right by. There we go. See you later. Clip the apron there. Doesn't really upset the car at all. Honestly, it's very easy to drive once you get the handling. The cars don't really spin out ever. Knock on wood. But at least with the setup I have on, it is extremely understeery. So I'm going to try to go down one notch on the right front screw jack, then just see what that does. See if I can get it to turn a bit better. Did indeed catch it live, Lead Chicken. Very impromptu stream today, but I said at the beginning I just was gonna do this myself, and I sat here and said, why not stream it? And I had no idea how it was gonna go. So far so good though. Getting close to halfway into the race, and it's mainly been a race about tire wear and then not hitting any of the other cars. But we're just watching the right rear tire the whole time. I'm trying to change the setup a little by little to make it better. I'm sitting in third position. There's one of the Petty cars that just came out of the pits. I'm actually in first now, so I guess both Isaac and Allison pit. So I'm in first. Richard Petty just came out of the pits behind me. Doing one click, don't be hasty. Things are going well. I don't want to set it up in a way that'll make me crash. If it was practice, you do the more aggressive adjustments, but we're sitting in between first and third place right now, so I don't want to do anything that could knock me out of the race, you know. There's 74 still in it too. Man, the Cruise can fix a lot in this. That was very close. Yeah, I don't know. I guess Petty's gone again. He must be having some issues. I mean, the AI do have like thorough mechanical failures and stuff and issues that they work on. We're getting really close to the tire. We're on lap 81 though, so we're going to be a couple laps to the good on strategy to stick to this 9-stop extravaganza. Don't worry, I'm not going to spin out. Knock on wood. Here comes Petty out of the pits again. Or maybe it was Hamilton coming out of the pits. Pete Hamilton. And Petty was actually just closing up behind me. You just about put a lap on somebody when they pit. That's tricky. That was sketchy, but I didn't know if he was going to sweep up wide. Last thing I want to do is just blindly go by on the high side and have him knock into me. It's alright, we're good. Everything's good. Alright, should pit maybe next lap or so. We've got plenty of fuel, but we're going to hit the tire limit. Yeah, there it is. Crew says we're running out of tires. So I'll come to pit this lap. Here comes Pearson back on me from behind. It's going to make it interesting. I got to try to get into the pits, buddy. See, this is in real life, you would start waving your hand saying, I'm going to pit, but there's nothing to do that in any sim. Oh, I've got no grip. Pearson's going to sweep by. I'm just going to let him go, because I got to pit here. Alright, fast into the pit lane, get it down the gears. Getting a little bit better at it. There we go. Alright. Yes, you're right. How could I forget my favorite sim, Grand Prix Legends? You can raise your hand in that. Hey, this game does have a spotter in it, so if you wanted a spotter, you could have one, but it's not quite realistic. everybody's streaming by. We'll exit the pits here. A few cars still in the pits. Hopefully nobody pulls out, but they tend to stay in the left lane when they pull out, so it's not too bad. It all works out. There goes Isaac and Allison. Those are the 2 leaders. So come out just behind him, and hopefully my car feels a little bit better. Yeah, my crew's great. They give me coffee. Alright, we'll see how the car feels now. I don't expect it to be too different, but I'm looking to see if the tire wear is a little bit better. And I can feel a little bit better about really cranking the wheel into the corners and stuff. A little dodgy here on the first lap out. If it feels more planted, I can maybe even loosen up the wedge a bit more. But the problem with wedge is it makes the car, you know, if you add wedge, it's tighter, remove wedge, it's looser, but it does it everywhere. So if you're only tight on the exit of a corner, and that's where you need things like the track bar, or I guess the screw jacks in this, because the wedge is just going to make that possibly too bad in some place. Alright, a bunch of cars ahead. We got slow cars, we got fast cars, underneath these 2. Looks like Isaac got way ahead there with Allison. Allison right in front, Arrington right here in the 5. Have to slow it up here as we come on the front stretch. Allison's not too far ahead though. I mean, I gotta hope for lap traffic and stuff. That might be my key to victory, which lap traffic playing a role is not unrealistic. It maybe is in how it works here, but shot up behind 49 in front, GC Spencer, I believe. Maybe the low side. Just gotta stick the car through there, it's the hard part. Oh, there's Isaac. Isaac and Allison are both being held up here. It's Wendell Scott again. And I think Benny Parsons, who's wicked slow. Gonna get around the low side, see if I can follow him through, but right on the leaders now because of lap traffic, like I thought. Oh, he's very slow there. I'd give him a tap. Oh. Give a tap to Bobby. I gotta get around Parsons. Just telling him I'm there. It'll damage the nose of my beautiful Superbird here. Yeah, boop, bonk, whatever you want to call it. Alright, 112 laps to go. We're getting close to halfway. This is going to be such a long race. Yeah, I just got to keep my head in it. Sometimes I know I find myself get this sense of urgency where you'll start just making these aggressive moves that I've got such a long race. You've seen how much it's changed so far. In even the first half, I was back in 6th place at some point, and I haven't done anything too wild. I'm just sticking to my strategy, and it kind of works itself out as long as you don't make any mistakes. So I just got to keep doing that and not try to... I could try to do something crazy here and try to get around Allison, but my main concern is just trying to get through all this lap traffic clean and not hit the wall. And then I have faith it'll work out because I think I'm doing a bit better than the AI on fuel strategy and pit strategy. Although Allison and Isaac here, they're definitely on a different strategy than some of the other cars. They're pitting only a couple laps earlier than me, so we'll see how that works out. But I feel pretty good about it, and I can see both of them as long as I stay on the lead lap. The yellow flag can change everything. Vandiver there. I had a little die cast of that 31 car a long time ago. Back in 1998, they made a ton of die casts of old NASCAR cars. And they had a bunch from 1970 for whatever the reason. So a lot of these cars I just remember seeing as die casts. Allison's caught behind Cecil Gordon, who are both kind of caught behind Don Tarr here. Wow, I got a lot of weird grip there for a second. A lot of understeer too. It's John Sears on the outside. Alright, we got a good run here, but don't really have... And dab of the brakes there, because I thought Cecil Gordon was going to turn down into me. Hold it on the low side. It's not so easy to hold the line in this because there seems to be a dead zone, even though it doesn't say I have one. Tim, I gotta get the Papyrus die cast. I'm sure it's on eBay somewhere. I thought I remember seeing this game with a Petty die cast. But yeah, I would love to get this car, the Papyrus one, as a die cast. That'd be fun. Pack of cars here. Elmo Langley on the low side. Bobby Allison's able to pull out really quick, but then he gets stuck behind some of the cars, so it makes it interesting. So I'm pulling back up on him quite a bit. Maybe we'll make the pass here coming down into turn 3. But Thomas in front sticks out there. Allison on the high side. He's able to sweep back in front as I had to jab the brakes just a little bit there to make sure Thomas wasn't going to clip Thomas. All right, fighting for second spot here, coming up to halfway in the Daytona 500. Still about survival. If it was the last 10 laps, I'd try something a little more extreme, but so much race to go. I just didn't get the turning quite right there. Let's see if I can sneak by these two. Roy Tyner there in the 16. Should have him just on the back straightaway coming to turn 3. Really flung it in, but just get him into the corner. And Arnold in front. Alright, 106 to go. Good draft here on Arnold, but it's pretty quick. Not gonna be able to get him in turn 1. He's not on the entry, but he's gonna slide a bit wide. Ooh, he kind of keeps that middle lane. Make it interesting for me. Just ride the apron around the bottom. This came out after Grand Prix Legends, believe it or not. And that's why there was a lot of negativity towards this in NASCAR 3. Although they're very good games, because Grand Prix Legends had come out and then these were not made with that physics engine, people just were not happy about that. But that is how it went. Both NASCAR 3 and NASCAR Legends here were made with the older tried and true stock car simulation that Papyrus had, And they're great now, but I could imagine, or I remember why at the time people were a bit upset about that, especially because Papyrus had teased NASCAR 3 as being on the Grand Prix Legends style engine. As Pearson comes out of the pits there, and I'm just going to get Lorenzen into turn 1. There we go. Tim, Race Sim Central in the chat just posted a clip, I believe, of, or has one. I saw it recently, so I don't know if you had posted it recently on your channel, but it's of the demo of NASCAR 3 that was shown originally and why everybody was excited. But it didn't end up being that. Yep, and it wasn't until NASCAR 4 that they actually did it. Alright, a couple cars in the pits here. I think I see one of the red ones. Alright, I'm in second place, so I think Isaac went in the pits. And we've got Bobby Allison in front. Friday Hassler here, but I can see Allison. It's that red car in the distance. Yeah, if you don't know Race Sim Central, if you don't remember, Race Sim Central was like the place to go for sim racing for a long time. But Tim over there runs a YouTube channel and just has so many cool, I guess I'll call it like sim racing oddware, right? Or reviews and demos and clips and all the cool stuff. So check out, he's got some really, really neat videos and things on his channel. Alright, so there goes Allison into the pit, so I'm going to lead some more laps here. And I've got plenty of tire right now, and we should be able to make it over halfway. So they're pitting a couple laps before halfway, which tells me that they're not going to make it on the 9 stops. It is like tiring to hold your foot just flat to the floor the whole time. That's the one scenario where the stiff springs are not the nicest. That was a tricky little pass there on the 45. All right. We are halfway into the race. Not too bad. How long has it been so far? Like an hour and a half, so it's probably going to be about a 3-hour race, which is what I thought. Bunch of cars pitting now. I'm just going to wait for my crew to tell me my tires are wearing out. So we got a whole bunch of cars stacked up here, and I think that's Isaac and Allison, so I might put them a lap down, which is good because I think I lose about a lap when I pit. These 3 jokers in front here. It's all three of those cars that wrecked together. Quick getaway. Bill Shirley's diving down low, taking 3 wide for a second, but yikes, those are those 3 cars that all took each other out earlier. Right up to the wall. Is the 74 still on 3 wheels? Alright, next time by we're pitting. Guess I'll thank my invisible crew chief for the warning about my tire. How would you know? I mean, I guess you'd feel it in real life, right? Or you just kind of know from practice and inspecting the tires after practice that, yeah, we can only do about 20 laps. Alright, but we're 2 laps to the good right now, so that's good. To the good is good. We'll come in to the pits this time. Slowed down again. I've been doing okay with this. Not being quite as aggressive as I possibly could be, but just don't want to overdo it. Coming to the pits. Alright. Yeah, Grand Prix Legends, especially the original physics, has great feeling for overheating tires. Get all the tires changed. What is this? Pit stop 4 or 5 already? Probably 4. Alright, a couple cars coming to the pits. GC Spencer, see if I can get out without spinning the car out. Yeah, I wish you could have a pit board in this, because that would be the proper way to look at the standings and everything. 45 comes out, just a bit of a lift there. Alright, there they go. We're right with them, but they're just a little bit faster than me. They're going to be about a straightaway ahead by the time I get up to speed. Alright, we're sitting okay though. Things are good. I'm on the lead lap over halfway into the race. And all it's going to take is them to have, you know, one little issue, and I'm going to be right there. I didn't change anything on that stop. Car felt pretty good overall. I mean, it's still driving like a 1970s stock car, so it's a little big wiggle. It's still a little understeery, but I'll take understeery instead of oversteery any day, especially in a sim like this. I have this feeling we're not going to see another yellow flag, but that, you never know. Car could blow an engine or something. They'll probably throw a yellow for that, but we'll see. Yeah, so we're in third position, about 8 seconds off the leaders. They're right together, which is only going to make them faster to be slipstreaming. See a red car up there. That might be Arrington, though. It's probably Buddy. Looks like Bobby Allison's actually taking the lead. Him and Isaac are neck and neck with each other. Oh, I just tagged the wall there. Uh-oh. That was my first wall hit. Should be okay, but hopefully that doesn't hurt the top speed at all. 106 laps and finally tapped the wall once. Could be worse. Ed Negri in front here, and Arrington as well, JD McDuffie, so it's a bunch of lap cars, but at least they're all spread out at this point. Right, you do gotta hope the wall's okay. I'm sure a lot of folks have seen some of those. I think there was at least a couple crashes from Darlington in the 60s and 70s, right, where cars hit the wall, and I mean they end up on like the other side of the wall. I want to say one was Ned Jarrett, right? Oh man, Arrington, he like looked like he was going to slide back out wide, so I went low, and then he went low. Make it awkward. I'm going to have to wait for him to slide high into turn 1. Just slip underneath him. Come on now. Lost a bit of time there. Yeah, at least it's a concrete wall and not Armco, right? That's when cars used to break through the walls quite often. Imagine racing with Armco around Daytona. They did it. It was first made. JD McDuffie slides out wide. I'm catching all these cars at the worst time. Yes, there will be more IndyCar 1990, don't worry. My hope is to do it next weekend, but we'll see. Once again, just right at the worst place. Catch Larry here. Underneath him. Alright, so we got 90 laps to go, so 10 more laps to take a pit stop, or hopefully I'll take my pit stop. Things look pretty good on the tire front. I'm only 6 seconds off the leaders, so I gained a bit of time there, but it's good. I'm not at risk of going a lap down, which is what will really just get you out of the race completely. It's hard to get a lap back. Yeah, I'm definitely have a big advantage through the back markers. Kind of par for the course with... I don't know many sims that have done super speedway racing well. There's a totally different type of racing this without the restricted plates and stuff, and I think it's pretty fun here, but there's its quirks, like with every sim. But I'm so happy that I'm not both way behind and not able to keep up at all, or, you know, way too fast. It would be not as fun either way, so this is working out really well. And I think if I play my cards here right and the lap traffic comes at the right times, I think I've got a chance to win this. But it's not going to be easy. I'm going to have some stuff happen here. This car gets a little loose there. Whoa, Vandiver is a little slow there. Getting pinched underneath Spencer. Alright. I made it. It's alright. This must be what Isaac and Allison got slowed up through. Yeah, what car did Chevy run? It must have been... Was it a Monte Carlo? Were they making the Monte Carlo in 1970? I remember from the NR 2003 mod, there's a Chevy, but I can't remember what model it is. Chevelle. Okay. The late 70s Monte Carlos are such beasts. They are huge cars. I was looking at some pictures of those the other day. Got a couple cars in the pits there. I think that's Yarborough. It's Kale back in 7th in the pits at this point. You'll see a lot of if you look at the results for races, I mean, you'll see a lot of random cars. This was a time when you could kind of bring whatever you wanted. You know, there were rules about the types of cars, but if there was a model of car out there that fit those rules, you know, you could bring it to a NASCAR race in the 70s. So you see a lot of like one-offs in certain cars and stuff. Bill Champion there on the low side, just got in there. I'd rather pass these cars on the outside, but they tend to slide up in front of you or right into you if you're not careful. I love how the skid marks stay there for the whole race. It just kind of gives you that eerie reminder. 5 more laps and I'll be within my pit window. Hopefully can go a couple more beyond that. Keep it to the good side. Big lift there into 3. Oh, car in the pits. Was that Isaac? Yeah, it was Isaac. He's pitting so early. Right, so as long as I'm within range to pass them when they pit, I think if it stays green the rest of the way, I'm gonna be really good on the pit stops, unless they do something I'm not expecting. That might be the way to win it, is on fuel strategy. I'm just able to go that extra couple of laps that makes the difference. We definitely need to take 4 tires because the lefts get pretty worn out as well. The right rear is definitely the one that takes the biggest beating. The mind is the hardest part during this. There's a physical rest for sure. But the, yeah, rally is like, I mean, so we get right to the wall there. Rally is difficult in every way. For myself, rally is definitely the hardest type of sim racing. Mentally, just paying attention to the notes, and it's just so taxing. And then the physical part of it, rally, you're really working out the whole time. So this is still pretty mental, though. There's a lot to think about just with the strategy and the other cars, but it's a little more relaxed. And this is just for fun today. There's nothing. I just want a good finish now that we've gotten this far. But otherwise, there's nothing on the line today, so not such a big deal, no matter how it goes. All right, there's Allison. There's Allison and Isaac. So I'm headed here to put them a lap down because I think I'm leading now. Yeah, I'm leading now, but I'm coming up to put them a lap down. They're stuck with some traffic here. Isaac's actually way out front. I'm coming up to Allison. I'm gonna have to pit here in a couple laps, but I think it's looking pretty good for strategy for me. It's looking like they're gonna have to pit with like 10 laps to go. There's Dontar holding up Allison. I'm gonna take a 3 wide past both of them. We got Buddy Baker in front. Love this 6 car. I think it's one of the coolest paint schemes of the period. It looks especially good on the next model of car in a couple years' time. Yeah, the Ray Fox Dodge. When they went to the Chargers, man, did that car look good. Alright, here comes Bobby Allison coming up behind me. He's so much faster than me, but it's just the traffic. I'm able to get around him at times. He's coming down low, though. Then we got a whole pack of cars here. Man, they are slow. This is going to be interesting. Just have to try to get past them. Isaac's being held up there, too, but I think a few cars coming out of the pits are just making this very slow. Come on now. Follow Allison through under Hilton. Oh, he's getting side to side there. 3 wide, coming to the hairpin, or the hairpin, the tri-oval. I think we kind of made contact there. I didn't feel anything though. All right, I got my message from my crew, so I'm gonna have to pit this time. That was too close for comfort. Felt like a hairpin. Get Arnold here down the back straightaway. No! Come on! Oh no! I think I lost my wheel. All right, I'm right at the pits though. But how much time is this going to take? Oh, it's a caution. No! That was so my fault. The wheel is all messed up now. Alright, it's good it's a caution, but I don't know how much they're going to be able to fix my car. This is some impressive force feedback. It feels like an arcade game. I'm worried it's going to break my wheel. I actually think I got away with not a lot there, even though I've lost a wheel. I hit the wall again. That's not good. Is this the pace car? Oh, I'm leading the race right now. I'm leading the race. Okay. So, I'm going to pit. I'm going to have them fix all the as much damage as I can without going a lap down, and hopefully it's all of it. They should be able to fix the wheel. The problem's going to be is if my bodywork is very damaged, I'll be down on top speed. Yeah, we'll look at the replay here once I jump in the pits. That was so stupid of me. I didn't need to even try to force my way past Ben Arnold there. I think they're going to open it up, right? Yeah, there we go. I've learned. I wasn't thinking. All right, get into the stall. Oh, I went past. Come on. There we go. Oh, man, we got big trouble here. Okay, they're going to try to fix it. We'll look at the replay real quick and see what happened. That's so disappointing. Hold on, is that... No, I was going to say the car looked fine. Full Hildebrand. Oh, poor guy. Alright, yeah, I was coming down low, and that's a weird view, but... Yikes. I'm actually very lucky the car isn't completely dead after that, but this is my fault. What am I doing? I thought I was going to be able to just slip right inside of the 76. I did get the 76, but it was the 47. Oh, man, I hit that a ton. Yeah, I mean, I lost the front tire. And they're going to replace that and hopefully fix a lot of the damage here. We got the hacksaws out. So I just got to watch for the leader, the pace car to come by. It's not the sounds you want to hear. The front end is a little busted up, which is unfortunate because that's what we need to not be busted. Honestly, doesn't look terrible. I'm optimistic here. As long as I don't lose a ton of top speed, I should be okay. All right, here's the pace car, 50 seconds behind. Hopefully I can get out in front of it. I should be able to cancel my pit stop if it's going to be too long. What's going on? All right, there we go. All right, I'm going to beat the pace car, which is good. And we're just going to have to see what the top speed's like. It's driving fine, though. So... see what I can do before I catch the pack and see just a little bit of how it feels. Alright, green next time by. Still in the lead lap. I'm actually in third position. Yeah, it's tough for me to get up to fourth gear. Oh boy, I have a feeling we're going to be quite slow. Here's some of the cars in front, and hopefully they catch the leaders before the green flag. Yeah, it's the default. This is kind of the default car that comes with this. It was so random of me to decide to do this today. I didn't even paint a car. Right? The crew are miracle workers. Alright, these guys are coming into the pits, maybe? Or I should be able to blow by them. Just wait for the line. It'll tell me to stay high. Yeah, I just want to make sure I don't get a black flag. These sims like to just give you black flags a lot. We got a car coming out of the pits in front. Should be able to slide by him, though. I mean, the car at least handles fine, but I'm going to be very down on top speed, I think. if I catch up to the pack, though. That's what I'm worried about. They're going to get green before I really catch them. Come on. I mean, this could be good. I could catch them right at the perfect time. All right, I think they're right up here. Could be all the lapped cars. This might be a little tricky. I got to be careful here that none of these cars jump out in front of me when they take the green. Oh, perfect timing. All right, there we go. Green's out. I wish I had a lane because I would just take advantage of that. But all right, we're back in it. Third position behind Bobby Allison here. Let's see if I can have any hope of sticking with these guys now. I've got a feeling that that's not going to happen. Get up to fourth gear. I don't expect to know how bad this is until we really get going. So far, so good, though. Maybe I can just stick in the slipstream here as we're going to work high on Bobby Isaac. Yeah, that couldn't have been better timing. That's why real NASCAR would have made me start from the back. Isaac here on the lowest side. Donnie, Richard Petty. They're, I think, on the lead lap, but just at the very tail end of it. So Allison's in the lead here in the 22. So he's going to go down low on Donnie. I am up to speed so far. This is incredible. Realistic damage, folks. Okay, maybe I spoke too soon. They're going to start pulling away now. Here comes Donnie on the low side. Lock him a little bit. All right, let's see what I get up to now. I was getting over 2:06, 07 before. I'm still quite quick. I might be slightly down. No, I'm just as fast as I was. I'm going to have to thank my pit crew today after this. We're still in it. Still in it. We've got 75 laps to go. So it's basically 3 more stops. And I got away with a big one there. How did that happen? I mean, I'm still not quick enough to keep up with them, but that's no different than before the crash. Oh, as Donnie's going to come on the high side here. All right. Donnie's been quick. I've just been able to get ahead of him somehow. See if I can slipstream him, draft him. Yeah, we'll see how it progresses over the run. Still don't know if I'm home free, but it definitely could have been a lot worse. Yeah, I don't think Bill Shirley will be too... That was who I hit, right? Bill Shirley? He probably won't be too happy with me. It's not really pushing, but it feels slow. I think I might be slightly down on speed. I'll have to wait for some lap traffic again to make it spicy. We are at 100% strength, but I've explained this before with some of these games. It doesn't necessarily mean much because you can adjust the speed through the driver ratings, you can adjust the speed through the track settings. But yeah, it is 100%, and whatever that means. It's been a good race so far, but I'm just slightly not fast enough, either because of raw pace or that damage to keep up with the leaders. But I'm sitting in third place here. We got about 70 laps to go. And so we'll pit. We should be able to make it easily to 60 to go. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we can do it on 2 stops. I think we're going to need 3 stops. Yeah, I'm certainly down on top speed compared to them. I don't remember what I was doing before the crash. I do have the magician pit crew, for sure. Yeah, and that's the thing, too, is that they tend to run a bit faster towards the end of the race. like you would in real life, you know, during the middle of the race, you might back off a little bit so that you don't do what I did and nail the wall. This does have force feedback, but it's, you know, pretty rudimentary. These speeds are pretty period correct. We're not far off. We're actually pretty close to real life. Curious my thoughts on GTR2. I've got a lot of videos where I talk about that. Just look for GTR2 on my channel. I love GTR2 though. It's a good, great sim. One of the greats. Alright. I'm getting down to it. These races are long, and this is one of the quickest ones. But like, the reason why I think it would be kind of torturous to do a full season in this, full-length full season. Like Riverside, the first race of the year, is a 500-mile. It's 500 miles on the road course, so it takes like 6 hours to do. So if you wanted to do full-length there and have it be realistic, it would be a ridiculously long race. And then you've got a lot of 500-milers on shorter tracks too. Like, we're going super fast here, so this is a 500-mile race, but it's a fairly quick one. But you've got 500 miles around like Rockingham, which is one of the longer ones for sure. That track is not that fast. So we do full 500 miles around there. And you got like the World 600, the Coke 600 at Charlotte, which is super long. I know people in the chat would say I'd love to see you do the 500 at Riverside, but like, that would just be insane. Maybe as like 100,000 subs special or something. If I ever get there, I'll let folks decide if it's going to be in like this sim or NASCAR 2003 or something. But maybe then I will do a 500 miler at Riverside. But yeah, that is one of the more insane cup races. Then you have all the short tracks. I mean, there were quite a few shorter races in 1970, so there was a lot of like 200 milers around short tracks. Yeah, Dover's another one that's just like brutal. Obviously, like Darlington, the track's just tough. It's a bit faster, so I mean, it's not going to be as quick as this race, but it's those are punishing races, and to do a full 500 in this sim is like crazy. Well, 500 miles at Bristol's pretty crazy because they only race 250 there. Yeah, you can use an H pattern in this sim. I've not looked into how to hook it up to a modern H pattern though, because it uses something called an act shifter, which is like a very old style of shifters that came out around this time. So I don't know if there's a way to adapt that to like a modern shifter using like joy to key or something, but apparently you can do it. Wouldn't make that much of a difference around most tracks other than like Riverside, because you're not shifting much. So I just have it on my sequential today for up and down. But it would be nice to get it on the H so I wouldn't have to actually have the speed gauge up. Alright, here's Benny. Benny's been having a day. That car is hurt. This will try to sneak around without hitting him. There we go. I do got a car coming up behind me here. Lots back. Yes, I'm a little slow, but I'm in second spot right now. Hold on, how am I in second? So Isaac must have pit. We've got 63 laps to go. And I've got time to do quite a bit more laps here. Maybe another 5 laps or something. Full season of Spirit of Speed. So the problem, I would actually stream that game because I would like to try it more, but that game is hard to run. And luckily, I'm able to run what you're seeing here today. I'm actually running this in a window, so I can monitor chat and stuff at the same time. But with Spirit of Speed, I don't think I could get that to run as a window, so it'd be hard to stream that. Yeah, 500 laps at Bristol, not miles. It's enough laps. That's kind of, I don't know, I feel like that one wouldn't be the torturous one to me. It would definitely be Rockingham, Riverside, Dover, Darlington. Those would be the ones that I would just be, that would be tough stuff to do. I mean, those would be such long streams too. It'd be like 4 or 5 hour streams. Tough. Alright, coming up on a car here. Who is this? Is this Donnie again? I'm leading the way. After all that, I feel like I really got away with something there with that crash. Alright, there's Donnie. He's just coming out of the pits, so he's quite slow for a couple laps. I cannot believe the car is almost the same as it was after that crash. I really lucked out there. You can save mid-race on this, which is such a cool feature. So I suppose you could, I could do them in parts, but that is one of the cool things about these older sims, is you can save mid-race. Alright, so I'm just kind of waiting for my crew to tell me my tires are too worn, and then dive in the pits, and there should be 3 more stops to the end of the race. Here comes Allison back on me. Yeah, they're like slow for maybe a lap or 2 after their pit stop, and then they're very quick again. So 7 seconds off Isaac, but that would be to put him a lap down. I think I can see him up there. It might be Bill Shirley. Oh, come on. Just gonna tag the wall there. Oh, I almost got into Allison. That's not good. Did I damage it again? I didn't damage it. Man, the damage model is very forgiving in this. For me not to be out of the race after that first crash, it's definitely less realistic than IndyCar 2. Which I guess is good. So we'd be out of the race by now. Yeah, these cars are very robust, I guess a good word for it. I suppose they were made of metal. It just doesn't feel like you could hit the wall at 200 miles an hour and be okay after. I basically hit the wall head on right here earlier. Oh, I got such a push in turn 3. Man, Allison, Donnie gets like right there on me. Alright, we gotta pit this next time by. So it's gonna be 57 to go. Yeah, we're still pretty much on the same strategy. I guess I was getting ready to come into the pits when I crashed last, so it didn't really change the strategy at all. Here comes Pearson out of the pits, I think. Yep. Sneak around him. So we'll come into the pits this time. And then twice more. Two more stops after this. Unless something changes. Oh, here comes Donnie on the low side. He's going to pass me as I want to get to the low side anyway. Alright, come down. It's alright. No clutch needed. Right in my stop. I like the way you think, Chris. I'm narrowing the car, so I'm gonna make it faster. See all my skid marks here from pulling out of the pits all the time. I think it's all messed up when I'm in the pits. It's just like the wrong names. Alright, here we go. Pull out, try not to get run over. There we go. I'm still in the lead, but I'm gonna get past here as I pull out. Here comes Isaac. He's gonna go by now. There they are, the two leaders. I'm not so far behind him. It's pretty much the same story it's been the whole day. Come out of the pits, here's Bill Champion, sneak around him. Oh, here's Ben Arnold. I guess I didn't hit him, so here comes Donnie Allison behind me. Oh boy, it's gonna get interesting over here. Arnold's coming out. Sneak around the outside of him. Use him as a pick. The fuel doesn't take any longer. The tires take the longest, so it doesn't really matter if I mean, I suppose the car will be a bit lighter with less fuel. Maybe that's a good call. We'll look at it. Thank you, Christopher. A lot of cars coming in and out of the pits now, so I'm in third. I've just been in third. I think I'm destined for third place today, but we'll see. I'm lucky to get third if I get it, just with everything that's gone on. Elmo Langley up front here. He's the only green car, so you can spot him a million miles away. Ooh, big spin. Oh. Through the grass. There's a car spinning. Is that not going to bring out a yellow? It's still green. My God. Oh. No yellow. No yellow, just run over the grass. Yeah, Jesus, take the wheel, I suppose. Alright, got away with that. I lost a whole bunch of time, but at least I didn't crash. I know, I could have maybe gone through the smoke, but you can't see anything through the smoke. It's pretty realistic. As long as you don't put a lot of lateral load in the car, you can drive right over the grass. It's not an issue. It's when you try to turn while you're on the grass that real bad things can happen. Yeah, it's all cleaned up now. Yeah, I mean, they don't throw the yellow unless something really big happens. There's debris on the track or something. Ed coming in the corner. I almost did the same thing that I did earlier. I got him. We're good. We're good. Oh, Pearson down low. I didn't see him there for a second. That was really, really close. Pearson's back in 8th, but he's quick. I think I'm a little bit slow in the slipstream, so a lot of cars are quicker than me now. But I should be able to hold on to this top 5. Take a look here at, yeah, I'm the last car on the lead lap, being in 3rd. 16 seconds off the leaders, though, after that crash. Low in the corner. Get him down low. Man, that was really close. A lot of lap traffic here, and it's so hard to pass cars in this. Don Target's held up here behind Ben Arnold. It's my favorite back marker today. GC Spencer in front here. me in. Jeez. Keeps it nice and narrow here coming down to turn 1. It's not such a bad way to get around him, actually. Now that I know that's there. You do it on the high side. It's a lot less precarious than trying to pinch it on the bottom. Yeah, the car doesn't feel so loose, but it's just ill handling, but it's kind of been that way all day. Alright, 51 laps to go, so we're getting into the final quarter of the race. And it's getting a little crazy now. It's all the lap traffic's making it quite exciting in spots. See if I can just work my way through all this without my day ending suddenly as, oh my god, Larry Balmel on the high side here. Right onto the apron coming into turn 1. I was able to get him. We got Donnie Allison in front again, Jim Vandiver around the high side there. No, there's no track evolution in this, unfortunately. But the weather can change, so potentially that's happening. The weather kind of changes throughout the race, but not a drastic amount. Vandiver slides out wide. Ooh, Benny Parsons bouncing off the wall there. Come on, Benny. Squeeze me down right below the yellow line. Yeah, the car shake is so silly. They do it more in this sim than any of the others. And I think it's something to do with the way the car physics work for it. That they're much less stiff, so they kind of bob all over the place. It's a little silly, but it's all kind of a part of it. Brooks in front here. Yikes. Looks low. He's thinking about getting around Arrington here too. Arrington's up to 19th. He started shotgun on the field, so not a bad day for him. 48 laps to go, so another 8 laps we should pit again. So many pit stops in this. Kind of keeps it fresh, you know? Not having to run 30 or 40 laps between stops. It's just 20. If you want the real authentic experience, you gotta run this in software mode at tiny resolution. That's how I remember it. It looks quite nice, all blown up with anti-aliasing and stuff. It just makes me wish IndyCar 2 came out like 2 years later, and then it had 3D FX. Wow, right to the wall. Alright, where am I? I think I've fallen off the leaders here. 21 seconds back. That spin on the back straightaway and me going through the grass to avoid it was lost me quite a lot of time to the leaders. So I'm about a half a lap behind now. Coming up behind me here. Yarborough. Oh, Kale, what are you doing? Right against the wall. He's going to squeeze me further. I just tapped the wall there. I'm lost in my rear view. Yeah, you can put like a CRT effect on it if you want to. I've been doing that for the IndyCar 2 stuff just because it actually looks better, I think, because it's so low of a resolution. Having the CRT filter just makes it look more authentic. But this, because I'm able to actually run this at like a modern resolution, I think it would look kind of funny with the CRT filter. But I could try it out sometime. I've got cars side by side ahead. I mean, okay, pit stop wise, I can still hope that the leaders have to do an extra splash and go at the end. But I'm about a half a lap down now, so it would actually be really close. But there's a car diving in the pits up front. I think it's Donnie. It's like a Kale right on me from behind. I'm in second place now. Okay, so there was a car in the pits. Yeah, up to P2. So I have to hope that the pits, you know, we stay green to the end, and then they just have to make a splash and go with like 10 laps to go, and that can be just enough for me to get ahead. I don't know. Right to the wall. I'm just trying to pinch Yarborough. Tony, I'm with you. This is more dramatic than I thought it was going to be. Here comes Kale. Coming into T1. He's going to take it. It's okay. I mean, I'm a lap ahead of him, at least one, but... Oh, he's riding the wall. They do that sometimes. Alright, I'm still in second though, so that means that Bobby Allison must be able to stretch it quite far as well, unless he's going to be in the pits here soon. Oh, there we go. I took the lead. As Kale's going to get held up here, I really can't slow down at this point. I want to keep this lead as big as I can make it. Alright. Donnie gets held up behind some lap cars. Try to sweep down low. This is going to play out like that other lap. Side by side with Kale. So come down the back straight away. Just try to keep it nice and tidy. Man, hold your breath. Here comes Donnie. Low side will block him. I'm driving like a madman here. Trying to stay in front though. If I don't turn in to get to the yellow line right at the start of the corner, I'll never get near it. You can't. There's no like lateral load in these cars. It's like you just can't. You kind of have to make the corner as straight as possible. Alright, they snuck by on the low side. Just get right in the slipstream here of Pearson. Half throttle right now. You could save a lot of fuel doing this. Alright, so I'll look at how much fuel I used in this stint. And we may try to save some time by short filling and even though we're going to take 4 tires right at the end, short fill, and the car will just be lighter, which hopefully will be good. I can't stick with these guys, though. They're just a little bit quicker than me. What are we looking at? 6.9. Still have a few laps to go on my tires, but we're right at the pit stop window, so to do 20 laps is about 18 gallons of fuel. Did I say these cute guys? Cute cars, whatever. So it's 18 gallons of fuel to do 20 laps. Say 20. I mean, it's not going to save me that much fuel, but we'll see. Yeah, I think it's pretty much just going to be a full tank, no matter what. It's not really going to save me that much time. Alright, we're going to pit next time by. I'm leading. I'm 24 seconds ahead, so I'm basically like a half a lap ahead, and then when I pit, they're going to be a half a lap ahead. And I just have to hope they pit an extra time for the splash and go, but we'll see. So come in and pit this time, take full tank and everything. So yeah, full stint. We'll look at the fuel as I come in. I have about 5 extra gallons, let's say 4 extra gallons of fuel to do a full stint. So I suppose when I come to pit for the final time, I could take like 18 gallons of fuel. So I don't know if I'll do it. We'll see. Oh, come on. Just stopped just short. One more stop to go. One more stop. I thank everybody for being here today. This was a random thing that I decided to do, and it's been very fun so far. This sim's good time. All right, we'll leave the pits. I got one car coming in here. Here we go. Slide out. Let's go. Let's go. Get out of the pits. Luckily, I haven't really had any drama in the pits so far, which is good. There goes Donnie. A couple more cars swoop by. Fred Lorenzen right as we get into the corner. Alright, we got Kale in front here. I'm going to catch him right as we dive into turn 3. On the low side though, he gives me the space. I'm assuming I'll see him again in a second from behind, but we'll see. Alright, third, 25 seconds back. Looks like Bobby Allison's gotten pretty far ahead of Isaac in front. Cars in front here. Oh, Dick Brooks is so slow. Lorenzen's gonna get held up as well. Oh! Oh my god, and Lorenzen sweeps low behind me. I felt a little jostle in the wheel there. I wonder if we just made contact. That was a lot of close calls today. Laps to go. So should have to pit with around 20 laps to go, and then I'll be good to go to the end. And can probably take a slightly smaller tank of fuel, but it's mostly going to be about getting past all these lap cars here. There's a couple going to the pits. That's so scary. Benny Parsons dived down there into the pits. I wish you could see how many laps were remaining on this screen, because I would leave it here, but you can't. Kale's right behind me now as I just tapped the wall there. Get a nice run off Pearson here down the back straightaway though. Oh, he's so quick. That was scary. I could have kept my foot in it and I probably would have passed him. You just never know if they're going to give you the space or not. Burrow's just keeping me worried, hanging out right on my rear bumper the whole time. Yeah, I just have to worry he's going to dip down low, and then I'll tag him like mid-corner. And steady through turns 1 and 2. Sometimes I can get it perfect where the car doesn't bobble at all. Frank Warren here on the high side. I feel like I haven't seen him much today. Pearson's going to be stuck on the low side. We're both going to be quite slow. A bit interesting. Oh, I'm going to get boxed in here. Frank, come on. Lost a ton of time to the leaders that time through. A bit of a lift. Just to get the car to crank down right on the apron. Alright, past that little pack. So what do we got? 30 laps to go. We're getting towards the bitter end of this. Got one more pit stop. And I'm crossing my fingers that Allison and Isaac in front got to stop twice. But we'll see what lap they stop on coming to the end. But if it's over 20 laps to go, I think they're going to have to stop again with like a splash. And I am 20 seconds behind. 21 seconds behind Isaac, but you'll gain a whole lap, so I'll definitely pass them if they pit. Even if it's a quick pit. It could be close. Comes Pearson back up on me. Come on, Pearson, this isn't your race. To be honest, I didn't think it was going to be my race either. I cannot believe that crash about halfway through and the car didn't get totaled. And in fact, it's actually still almost as good as it was. It's incredible. Alright, I have every lapped car in the world in front of me now. So, I just need to get through this. I'm not going to win this by catching the leaders just on pace, so it's more important for me to just get through this clean and get to my pit stop. I think I'd be very much in the same position if I didn't crash. It worked out like perfectly where I'm kind of exactly where I was. So I was coming to the pits when I crashed anyway. Oh my god, these guys. Some slow cars there. And Friday right in front of me. Hold me up a ton. Gets squeezed down from GC. Come on. Like grit your teeth and wait. Oh, here comes Kale on the low side. Boy, it gets right up to me coming out of the corner. 7 laps to go. We're getting close to pit stop time. Alright, Isaac went in the pits. He definitely has to stop again. I just cannot see Isaac making it to the end with this stop. So, we'll see. I mean, that last stop probably is going to be shorter than a normal one, but sliding behind Champion here. Come on. Get wide. Did have one crash, but we've learned the car is made out of steel for real. It's a good solid car, this. Buddy Arrington, I should catch him just before the corner. Yeah, perfect. For how terrible the car handles, I actually really like it. It feels very authentic. In the context of this sim, it just feels right, the way the car moves and stuff. We're getting down to it. I don't know if Allison's going to have to pit twice, but Isaac's definitely going to have to. Alright, and so I should be able to... I'm going to take 20 gallons. Or fill 220. Yeah, that'll be good. I think I could get away with 18, but... I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference either way. Just to say I did, we'll fill it to 20. 25 laps to go. Just waiting for Bobby Allison to pit. Alright, here comes Yarborough again, behind me. I think Donnie's coming out of the pits in front. Always find myself around these two guys. That might be Wendell. Nope, it's Donnie. Ah. Right around the high side. Alright, Bobby's in the pits. Bobby's in the pits with 24. It's going to be close for him. I don't know. I mean, they've been pitting sooner than that, so I can't imagine he's going to stretch it. I take the lead there. Alright, I am leading the Daytona 500 with 23 laps to go, but I do have to pit. I might get this on strategy, which always feels a little cheap, but I'll take it. Why not? Vandiver here is a bit slow. Around him on the high side. So I should have about 3 more laps and then I'll come in for my stop. My final stop. Oh, Vandiver's really holding it in there. Alright, Jim. Ugh. Cale just sweeps below us. What is Jim doing? Or is that Marcus? That might actually be Marcus. No, that's Vandiver. I had it right. Oh, Cale just got his lap back, so Cale's on the lead lap now. No wonder he was so aggressive. Right, catching Benny Parsons. Once again. Very damaged Benny. Yikes. So Bobby Allison's only 18 seconds behind me. Yeah, I also love that Pepsi Cola sign. I think they only had it on the track for 1 or 2 years. But it's so 70s and so cool, this Pepsi Cola. I'm very happy this version of the track has that. Benny has had a long day, for sure. Right, how are we doing on fuel? – 20 laps to go. Alright, so I've made it to the pit stop window. Alright, coming in next time. And no, we definitely have to change tires. That's been the whole issue. I could actually go much further on fuel, but as you'll see, my tires on 3 of the 4 corners are very worn out. And they would definitely not make it to the end of the race. So that is entirely why we have to pit. But if you read reports, that's actually why the inaugural race at Talladega had like protests and everything, because the tires just weren't up for it. Drivers were afraid, rightfully so, about the tires, and Daytona and everything was the same way for quite a while. Just the speeds, tire technology was not there yet, and it's neat that that's modeled here. Alright, but I'll come into the pits, final stop, just try to get into my box nice and clean here. It takes slightly less fuel, but otherwise it's the same as all the rest of the stops, just 4 tires. There we go, stop in the box. Alright. I'm definitely going to lose the lead here, but I just have to hope that Bobby and Bobby both pit again. It's the Bobby and Axel show here, coming down to the final stint of the Daytona 500. Alright, there we go. We're good. Let's get away. Come on. Get out of the pits. No pit speed limit. We can just go. Cars stopped, but nobody was coming in behind me, so away we go. Get back out onto the track. Isaac and Allison both got around me. Yeah, Tim, I think I set the buffer to be like, because we have so much RAM now, I think I set it to like 2 gigabytes. So it's never, you could probably run 1,000 laps here and it would, there would be enough. Kale just pit too, yeah. Alright. So we got 17 laps to go, so just cross your fingers. I'm good to go to the end of the race now, finally. And we got Donnie coming up behind me here, but just let him hang out back there. We're going to play full. The track is mine now. But, yeah, I'm just hoping that both Isaac and Allison stop. I'm 31 seconds off, so I'm far back. As I almost spun myself there on Donnie. I mean, so worst case scenario, as long as I don't wreck out here at the end or my car doesn't break down, I'm set to finish 3rd, which is, compared to, with everything that's happened, is very good. But there's a chance here I could win. Although it's going to be tight, because their pit stops might be quicker if they pit. So we'll see. We'll have to see. It's all, that's why we do this. Why it's fun to do this is to just see what happens. And no 2 races would work out the same with the way the cautions happened and who's been quick and everything. Donnie's going to come down low. Oh, that was close. Kind of hoping I can have Donnie push me along here a bit. My car feels a little slow at this point. No, I want Donnie to push me. I mean, I'm not going to spin myself if he gets there, but he's right behind me. He'll give me a little bit of a slipstream. Although it could get interesting through the lap traffic here, but they're pretty spread out. All right, come down to 74 here. "28 seconds off. Actually gained a bunch that time. That time. Alright, Cecil Gordon here in front. Just pure coincidence that he also drove the 24. There's no relation to Jeff Gordon. Come to the line. 14 laps to go. Sitting in 3rd place. Yeah, Isaac is pulling in Allison a little bit, but I think Isaac's worse with fuel and everything. So come around Roy Main. underneath Thomas there. Got Petty in front of me, and Yarborough, but they're both a lap down. Yeah, I think they both have to pit. I mean, I would be shocked if one of them makes it, but I think their pit stops will also be quicker than they have been because they certainly won't need fuel, but tires as well. Maybe they'll only take 2. I don't know. I really don't know. That's why it's fun. All right, here comes Donnie again behind me. Pop out of the corner. Over the line. Here comes one of the Petty cars out of the pits, I think. Oh, that's that slower Thomas. Wow, Donnie got held up big time by him. I think there's a little bottleneck up here too. Alright, got this questionable pack of cars in front. I'm just going to stay behind Elmo. Try to work the low side. Oh, he backs off. 3 wide, mid-corner is not the safe option. We get it. I'm going to take some risks here right at the end of the race. Going for the win. Fell off to 30 seconds behind. I got Richard Petty right in front, though, to slipstream with. He's back in 5th, but he's a lap down. He's in 5th place and a lap down. That's how you know it's classic NASCAR. Got 10 laps to go. Just waiting to see them in the pits. Should have to pit here any minute. Oh, right to the outside. That was bad. I'm nearly a lap down. I'm about 10 seconds ahead of the leader right now. But I think that should still be enough unless they're really quick pit stops. It might be one of these scenarios where they come out, but we're going to be fighting. I don't know. See Benny Parsons up here again. It's the moving chicane at this point. Oh, thank you, Larry, for 4 months. Appreciate that. Got Benny Parsons here in front. Sneak underneath him. Oh, bye, Bobby. We can't even speak now. Bobby Isaac is in the pits. All right. So I get around him. No sweat at all. So I'm ahead of Isaac now. Bobby Isaac is in the pits. All right. Get behind Richard Petty here. Caught up to him through the lap traffic. Actually be able to pass Petty. Thank you, Big Alex, for joining the channel. I very much appreciate that. Here comes Petty back on the high side. So Isaac pits. Isaac's actually a lap down, but I don't actually know like how far behind me he might be. Got a million lap cars in front. It's gonna keep it interesting here as we come towards the end. Nowhere to go really here. Just the wait. Come on, Petty. Oh, Richard's quite slow. Is he going to pit? I thought Richard was going to pit there. Jason. I might get put a lap down here before Allison pits, which means, I mean, it's going to be very close when he comes out of the pits, even if he takes a full stop. All right, Petty goes underneath. Try to follow him through here. Come on. Go. 6 laps to go. It's really going to make me wait for it. Is he going to pit with like 4 laps left? Alright, Bill Champion there on the low side. Rounds on the high side of him. I don't know. Is he going to pit? I don't know. 5 laps to go. We think Bobby Allison has to pit here right at the end. But where I am on the track, we are going to be pretty close when he comes out of the pits. And so it's definitely not a done deal if he pits. That's the 45 here on the high side. But I don't know if he's going to pit. It's getting really close to the end here. Petty in front. Got a lot of speed. Glotchback is pitting behind us. Alright, I got around Petty and then Yarborough here. Leroy. Low side of Ed Negri. That 8 car, that's the first car that Dale Earnhardt drove in a NASCAR Winston Cup race. For that team anyway, not that car. It's a few years down the road. I know, these old sims, they always keep you biting your nails right at the end. I don't know if he's going to pit or not. We got 4 laps to go. Is he going to try to stretch it? Across the line, high side here. Ooh, I gained a bit that lap, but... laps to go. Is he going to do a splash and go? Will I actually catch him if he does a splash and go? Surely his tires are going to wear out before the end. Right up to the wall. There comes Petty down the low side. Oh, I get all out of shape there. Almost hit the wall myself. Petty sweeps down low. There's the 70. McDuffie. Across the line. I don't know if he's going to pit. I mean, he's going to pit on the last lap if he does. The humanity. Come on. Oh, thank you, Jason. Two laps to go. That's the leader's 2 laps to go. So I'm going to cross the line for 2 to go coming this time, but... been doing fuel saving. I don't think it's fuel, it's tires that are the issue. Ah, come on. I think he's got me, you're right. How did he stretch it? He's going to come to the line to get the last lap. Surely he's not going to pit on the last lap. Surely he won't. Is he going to win it in the pits? I got really out wide there, up into the wall a little bit. I should have gone low on Arrington here. All right, come out of the final corner. Got 1 more lap to go, I think. And I don't think he pits. Oh man, I could have sworn he was going to pit. I could have sworn. Maybe we got 1 more lap after this. Got that like extra. What did they do with the fuel back then? They put like a longer hose that goes to the fuel tank. That wrap that around the whole frame of the car, so you get like an extra gallon. Yeah, 2 to go there. I think we'll come to 1 to go this time. Should see the flag in the flag stand. Alright, we'll come to the line. Should see him pull out the white flag. Yeah, 1 more lap. 1 more lap. And Bobby Allison is a sneaky guy. To be fair, he's been a lot quicker than me, and I don't even deserve to finish this race at this point, but talk about unpredictable. The AI have pit like every time at like 19 laps, and somehow in the final stint he sneaks out like 24 laps, and he's going to take the Daytona 500. We'll come around the final turns right behind Richard Petty, who's a lap down. But all in all, I am very satisfied with this. This ended up being a ton of fun, and I hope you had fun watching it. But we'll come to the line and finish second in the Daytona 500. Second position. I'll take it. I will take it. Wow, talk about a race of ups and downs. I really should have been out of the race mid-race there, but hey, we'll take it. It's not like I had it on arcade damage or something. It's just how much damage I got. And my magical pit crew fixed every bit of it. I think the car was slightly slow, but it was almost as good. Almost as good. We'll look at the full results and everything here in a second. Benny Parsons is stopping on the track. Poor Benny. Benny had a rough race. Yeah, it's quick. I mean, it's probably over just about 3 hours, that race. But just a couple cautions. 1 from another car, 1 from me. 1 from another car, 1 from me. Come and pull into the pits. There he is right in front of me. Bobby Allison. Give him a little bump. Winner. Send him back out. You gotta go do donuts, dude. There he is. Disappointment. I mean, that's a bit rough, don't you think? It's a bit rough. I don't think it's disappointment. I don't think it's disappointment. Finishing second's pretty dang good. Second place. All right. So let me save this. Just in case. You never know if I'll do more of it. Who knows? Did I only have half a nose? Hold on. Yeah. Oh man, look at my car cross the finish line. I guess that's... I don't know, that's before I fixed it, but yeah. I mean, here's at the end of the race. I guess, we'll get the winning shot, at least. Or the second place shot. Half a nose across the finish line. How did I keep up? But I knew I was a bit slower than I should have been. I can't believe... I mean, I've crashed in this sim before. Less severe than that, and the car will be completely trashed. So, but let's look at it. The final results from here at Daytona. Bobby Allison wins. He wins the race, and I'm the only other car on the lead lap. Axel Richardson. Bobby Isaac finishes third. Cale Yarborough fourth, and Richard Petty rounds up the top 5, only a lap down. Let me get to 2 laps down. We got Donnie Allison, David Pearson, Charlie Glotzback, Pete Hamilton, and Buddy Baker round out the top 10. A very realistic finish. I mean, if you look at real results, it's not super far off. Not super far off. All right. Dave Marcus then... Dave Marcus in 11th, or James Hilton in 11th, Dave Marcus 12th. Then Leroy Yarborough, Fred Lorenz, and Jabe Thomas, Roy Main, Frank Warren, Friday Hassler, Elmo Langley, John Sears rounds out the top 20. We'll get back. All these cars still running. Elmo Langley, John Sears, Earl Brooks in 21st. Ben Arnold, who I had a few crashes with back in 22nd. Johnny Halford, 23rd. Buddy Arrington up from 43rd starting position to finish 24th. Not bad. Raymond Williams in 25th. Bill Seifert in 26th. 27th is Bill Champion. Bill and Bill. GC Spencer back in 28th. Cecil Gordon in 29th. Larry Balmel in 30th. We got Jim Vanover back in 31st. JD McDuffie 32nd. 33rd is Don Tarr. 34th, Bill Dennis. Then Bill Shirley, Ed Negri. Dick Brooks and Benny Parsons is the last car running. He finished 188 laps after a pretty gnarly accident in the first corner. Then we get to the retirements. Only 5 cars out of the race. Wendell Scott with an engine on lap 100. We have Neil Castells with an engine on lap 99, so side by side with each other. Then 50 laps into the race, Joe Frassen had a suspension issue, maybe from an accident. Cuckoo Marlin was out with an engine failure after 25 laps, and Henley Gray, 7 laps, had a gearbox failure, finishing last on the field. 180 mile per hour race. Be interesting to see what the real ones were. I have a feeling this was very fast because we only had 2 cautions. But 22 lead changes, 33-second margin of victory, 166 minute almost race. Man. So, that is Daytona in NASCAR Legends. I didn't think I'd ever do a full NASCAR race like that, but that was a ton of fun. Thank you for joining me. There was a lot of people. I think this might be the most people I've ever had in a live stream, so that's pretty fun. But I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I can imagine maybe doing some more of this in the future if people liked it. But let me know if you'd want to see more NASCAR Legends or something else. Might start doing some more random live streams. It's a little less stressful. But yeah. Anyways, appreciate everybody being here today. I hope it was fun, and I guess I'll see you next time. Thank you.